All righty. Well, God bless you guys. God bless you guys. And let's pray that this live doesn't get taken on, because now I've done everything I need to do. I am using a different account, speaking through my backup account, so that my main account is hopefully saved. I've taken a picture that's not been, that doesn't show anyone's age, and is not showing anything that should upset people. So the question would be, women in Islam. We're just having a conversation about women in Islam. We just want to know, again, what does it, are women okay in Islam? Is it a red flag in Islam? Are women treated well in Islam? God bless you guys for coming. Let me just say a quick prayer just to bless this live. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you, Lord, to please bless this live and all those that come through. Let it be a fruitful life with lots of information where people can learn and go away thinking that Islam is false and only Christianity can be true. In Jesus' name, amen. As I said, guys, let me just tell you, I woke up this morning and I was banned on TikTok this morning. I wasn't banned yesterday, but last night I went on Duran's live and I had a conversation with a few people talking. I can't remember the topic, but anyways, and ended the live, said my good nights, and did my, I went to bed and yada yada. And then this morning, there was a Muslim live, Ahmadi, talking about free will. I love that topic. So I went in there, tried to go in there, and I was told I'm banned. I was told I was banned. Yeah, I was told I was banned. So I had to appeal this morning to see if I can go, because they said to me, two more bans and I lose my account. 2 more bans and I lose my account because of all these times I'm being hit with all these different bans. So yeah, the enemy is in fear of what we are saying, because again, we just read. Yeah, I know that. For what I did was I unmuted my main account just to see if I could turn down the sound. So I'm just have to mute the main one, and for all those that are coming in again, just follow me on the backup. And yeah, so in under 3 minutes of going live, I've got 3 restrictions. In under 3 minutes. The first one came in under 30 seconds. Yeah, if I changed and I said I was a Muslim, and I all of a sudden started talking about Islam and had the same pictures up, I promise you nothing would happen. They would leave me alone. Absolutely leave me alone. That's why you can't make this up, man. But, we don't give up. We will not stop. We will continue. And I can lose the live. Wow, my appeal was actually accepted. Wow, that's the first time in forever that my appeals have actually been accepted. Wow. So hopefully now it can be shared among people. It was interesting going to Duran's live yesterday because, again, we were talking with Muslims because they seem to go, maybe it's the timing, the late in the evening, but I'm just reaching people now for in the daytime. As I said, we all have different hours and times where we can go. And yeah, we just want to introduce Christ to these people. Now, the reason that we're doing women in Islam is because just the other day, we saw that a girl that her parents in Sweden said that she was now too liberal because she started dating a Swedish guy. And she decided that she couldn't wear the hijab anymore. She thought that covering was absolute nonsense. And so she took it off. She decided, I don't want to wear this anymore. She took it off. And much to the dismay of her parents and brothers and family, because they, are forced to wear this in the West, because they're forced to wear it in the East. Now, again, Muslim women would say to us, that's no problem to wear, they want to wear, it's their free choice, yada, yada. But this again goes against the women that are being forced to wear these things. And because they are forced to wear these things, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. And this is why this is a tragedy for the Muslim woman. It's literally just a tragedy for Muslim women. People that want to join in this religion need to understand what will happen to them. I forgot to share, just 1 second. Yeah, so now we know that, it's just sad. And the thing is, in truth, right, women in Islam suffer badly, and they suffer mostly in silence. And the primary reason for their suffering is due to this divine law, or the laws of Allah, that came down to man. This is why we did a live where it says Islam is for man, by man. And let's face it, let's be honest, Allah's laws are just discriminatory towards women. One of them that I was looking at or reading is in a verse in the Quran, Surah 4:20, that actually says, and if you wish to exchange one of your wives for another. Now, imagine that. If you wish to exchange one wife for another, and you have given unto one of them a sum of money, however great, take nothing from it. Now that sounds lovely, doesn't it? Now the expression, if you wish, shows that the man holds the power. The man holds the power. And this verse literally grants the husband, the Muslim husband, to dismiss any one of his wives, and just replace her with another. He's like, yeah, you know what? I wish to change you. I'm tired of you. You nagging me. Let me send you on your way. So if you wish to change her, you can change her. Now he's given this authority as long as he takes nothing from her, right? So she can keep whatever. Now, isn't that lovely? Oh my goodness, that's lovely. Isn't that just amazing? Wow, that is so lovely. He chose to leave her, but she can keep. Look at the love given to her. Oh my goodness. Now, this is the only condition for the exchange, for him changing his wives. So if a man desires to exchange his wife for another, there's no consequence to Allah except that the money that she was given is kept by her. MashaAllah. Now remember, this is from Allah. So don't let anyone else fool you and say that this is from man or something. This is Allah saying this. So he doesn't take marriage seriously. Marriage is just like, come on, man, you want to change this woman out? You can do it if you wish. Now, again, pious men, they have to emulate this for all eternity. Now remember, after Muhammad's wife Khadija died, Muhammad was left to raise 4 young daughters. And of course, this must have created some problems for him. None of them were his. Muhammad didn't have any kids, apparently. Now, at the same time, there was Sauda, whose husband died. And now she was without a reliable, means of support. So a friend suggested to Muhammad, listen, man, marry her. So Muhammad was like, okay. It was a mutually beneficial marriage. Sauda cared for the children while Muhammad provided for her. Sounds like a perfect match made in heaven. But remember now, Muhammad, he started getting more and more money. He started, doing all these things, getting more and more money. And then this gave him access to more women, power and money. And the women are there. I mean, you can look at some of the fuglies in the world that are loaded, and you ask yourself, how in the world did he score that girl? Money and power. Because some people are so fickle. Some people are so easy, they'd go for the money. Now, Sauda, she became older. I see that rhyme there, you know? So older became older, and she was less attractive. Now, after his daughters matured, he didn't need her anymore. Muhammad was like, yeah, man, Sauda, I don't need you no more. But she was still his wife and had to, he had to fulfill his marriage duties with her, because he needed to go to her every night and do his thing. So Sauda now, she realizing she's getting older, she was like, well, hang on a second, now what do I do? She begged him to take her back. She begged him. Why? Because now Muhammad was finding other wives. And that's when he found Aisha, the child bride. He's Muhammad's favorite dingy partner. His favorite dingy partner. So Muhammad, he accepted these conditions from Sauda, that her nights will go to Aisha as long as she can be his wife. Now imagine the sadness in this woman going to her husband saying, listen, please don't exchange me. Keep me. Just let me be your wife and I'll give you my nights to give to Aisha. Imagine that. Now, where do we find this? We find this in Bukhari. Sahih Bukhari, volume 7, book 62, number 1 or hadith number 139. He says, narrated Aisha, Sauda bint Azama gave up her turn to me, Aisha, and so the Prophet used to give me, Aisha, both my day and the day of Sauda. Isn't that a lovely dude? I mean, I think this is brilliant. He kept his wife, he kept his wives, and the one was too old for dingy. He's like, yeah, man, you got gravity's pulling everything down. Gravity's making you look awful. This is why you need to cover your face and your eyes and your head, because I don't want to look at this. This is getting bad. I don't want to look at you no more. So just cover up. Allah said, cover, please, because, your beard's longer than mine now. So Sauda, she was like, oh, bugger. She covered up. And she gave her turn to little girl Aisha, the child bride. Now remember again that Allah supported this arrangement. Allah supported the arrangement. Allah says that He revealed this verse in the Quran to support this arrangement. Sunan Abi Dawud, volume 2, in the book of the Kitab al-Nikah, says this. Guys in the chat, notice this guy called M. He says Indian cross-licker. He thinks that is an insult to me. So what he doesn't understand is that calling me a Muslim is more of an insult than calling me an Indian cross-licker. Because you are a camel juice drinker, you follow a PDF, and let me give you an invite so that you can try to come up and make it make sense. Let me give you a chance to speak. And in the meantime, what I'll do is, like a dog, I will mute you for the entire live. So either come up or shut up. Remember that you can call me Indian, you can call me anything in the world. That's not an insult. The biggest insult for me is to say that I am a Muslim following a PDF that got zooted, that loved it. So now, when we're looking at this wonderful guy called Muhammad and the woman in Islam, remember now, Allah is the one that confirms this arrangement. Allah confirms this arrangement. And now in Sunan Abi Dawud, in volume 2, in the book of the Al-Nikah, Al-Nikah just means the dingy. They'll say, no, it's marriage. Nah, doesn't say that. Doesn't say that. It's the dingy. So let's read what it says. It says that when Sauda, the daughter of Zamma, became old and feared that the apostle of Allah would divorce her, she said, Allah's apostle, I give you Aisha the day you visit me. The apostle of Allah accepted it from her. MashaAllah. She said, we think that Allah the Exalted revealed about this or similar matter in the Quran if a wife fears cruelty or desertion on her husband's part. So now Sauda you would think was, this sounds like it's brilliant, but we'll get to it in a minute. Because remember, Allah's talking about just exchanging your wives. You're tired of your wife, you don't like the wife, change her, exchange her. That's what it's talking about. So this Quranic verse was revealed by Allah in connection with the one that we just spoke about. Surah 4:128. Surah 4:128 says this: if a wife fears cruelty or desertion on her husband's part, there's no blame on them if they arrange an amicable settlement between themselves. Man, do you notice how Allah came to the rescue again? Again. Man, Allah is so concerned about the dingy of Muhammad that he comes to his rescue time and time again. MashaAllah. This is how you know Muhammad is the last and final prophet. So basically what it's saying, if a woman fears rebelliousness or aversion in a husband, then there's no fault in them. If the couple set things right between them, they fix it. MashaAllah. I mean, come on, man. How is Islam bad for women? So only when we understand this implication for 128, we will see what it means. So where do we go? Muslims said to us, if you don't understand it, go to the tafsir. Let's see what the tafsir actually says about these women in Islam. In the tafsir for 4:128 by Ibn Kathir says, if the wife fears that her husband might reject her, like in the case of Sauda, or avoid her, she might give up some or all of her rights concerning financial support or clothing or housing or such other rights against him, and he can accept these concessions from her. Doesn't stop there. There's no fault on her for giving up her rights, and there's no fault on him if he accepts her concessions. This is why the Most High said, that's Allah for those that don't know, not Muhammad, there is no fault in them if the couple sets up things right between them. Then he said, right settlement is better than separation. This is why when Sauda bint Zam'a became old, the Prophet of Allah decided to divorce her. So she besought him to keep her in return, giving up her day to Aisha. So he accepted her offer and he did not divorce her. So as long as he didn't need to go to her, to touch her, to be with her, to be intimate with her, all was good. Now, on the authority of Ibn Abbas, who said, Sauda feared that the Prophet of Allah may divorce her, so he said to him, O Prophet of Allah, do not divorce me, and my day shall belong to Aisha. So he did, and the verse 4:128 was revealed. Now, come on, guys, stop being haters. This is lovely. The God of Islam fixed for both Muhammad and the woman. She was fugly. She wasn't attractive at all anymore. Allah was like, man, I understand you, Mo. I understand why you don't want to touch this woman. So you just cover her up like a ninja. Put a dishcloth over her head and just ignore her and, and go to your other wives. Go to your other wives. Give her night to Aisha. Now, we'll look at a contradiction in this as well, because remember, the contradiction would be that according to other hadiths, Muhammad went to all of his wives in one night. All of his wives in one night. That would include Sauda, because it says all, not some. So Sauda, even though she gave her night to Aisha, Aisha was she was double dipping. Muhammad was double dipping in Aisha, while at the same time still visiting all his other wives. Can you believe that? Allah came to the rescue. Not for Sauda, but for Ahmed. Ahmed once again hit the jackpot. His God is like, man, I'm taking my time out on my busy day, my busy day. I'm going to ignore what's happening in the world. I want to look down at you, Muhammad, Ahmed. I want to look down at you, Ahmed, and I want to see that you having enough dingy, and that the wives are not annoying you, and that you can enjoy yourself. All she has to do is accept the settlement. Accept the settlement. Make sure that she gives up some of her rights concerning financial support or clothing or housing or any such right against him, and he can accept these concessions from her. Does this sound like a right settlement? You can't make this up. How can a wife truly remain a wife if she gives up her right to be a wife? Come on, man. How can a wife remain a wife when she gives up her right as a wife? So now she's only a wife in name? Come on, man. You can't make this up. So remember that also when Muhammad passes away, what does it say? That she can't find another man. That none of Muhammad's wives can go with other men. So now this woman is suffering. She's like a double whammy. She's like, come on, man. You know, there might be other men that find me attractive. He's like, nah, put the dishcloth on your head. Do not take the dishcloth off your head. Just make 2 little holes in there for the eyes. We don't want to see your eyes either, so cover that too. Now just remember, guys, this is Allah giving support to the Muslims, to the husbands, that they can divorce their wives when they become old or unattractive. That's what the Quran is teaching, right? But if the wife is willing to give up her right as a wife, then the husband can say, yeah, okay, you can sleep in the back room. You can sleep in the back room. But there's more, because the Quran doesn't just stop there. Zara says, breathing holes in that niqab. Can you imagine, man? These people don't even have breathing holes. This is why they pass out half the time. So now, just remember, there's no blame if the arrangement is amicable between the two of them. Now, consider this. Consider the dilemma that poor little Sauda had to face. Sauda had to face this because when Muhammad agreed to, let's call it the concessions, she lost her rights as a wife. And now she has to suffer the dishonor of not having the intimacy with this man because he's going to someone younger than her. Can you imagine the poor woman? Can you imagine the poor woman? So we got Akhi Sayyid saying, look, you're back again to get refuted. My man, all you got to do is just request and we'll see. We're having conversations. If you can convince me that I am wrong, you're more than welcome. So again, don't be in the chats. There's a request button. Come up and then refute, because I don't know who's going to refute me when no one's up here with me. I'm just reading. That's all I'm doing, man. Remember that in the book of the Prophet, the Nisa al-Nabi, the book of women of the Prophet, it says this. It says, when Muhammad intended to divorce Sauda, or when he actually divorced her, she received the news with utmost bewilderment, and she almost fainted. She wept in the presence of Muhammad and said, keep me, and I assign the right of my night and day to your young wife Aisha. That's on page 66, regarding Hafsa and Sauda. He agreed. It is well known that this Sauda had served Muhammad very well and was very good to him, and no one had accused her of any wrongdoing, but because of lack of beauty, he intended to divorce her. The book of women of the Prophet, the Nisa al-Nabi. This is what it says. Because of the lack of beauty, he intended to divorce her. That's on page 125 and page 66. This is what it says. Because she wasn't attractive anymore. That was the reason. Crazy? Now, I know when people see the woman in Islam, they think we're going to talk about Aisha and the dingy when she was still a pre. There's more to it. There's much more to it. This is just the one example of how you are supposed, how Muhammad's telling, how Allah, not Muhammad, Allah says. Now, notice that there's no love in this relationship. And First John says to us, whoever does not love does not know love, because God is love. So in Islam, it's not love your wives, like Muhammad loved none of his wives. He used them all. He may have loved Aisha as the only wife that he did love, but he never. So this is crazy, because if it's the same God, then the God of the Old Testament says that Yahweh hates divorce. In Malachi 2:15 and 16, Yahweh hates divorce. Man and woman should be one. That's just the one section, the one part of this. Let me show you guys another part where we're going to go to, for example, the authorization of, how would I say it? To authorize dingy, unlawful dingy.
Yo, Israel supported demon. Yo, the devil supporter, devil, demon, children kill. You are the best. The Torah is the best, better than Islam. Yes, we are the best. We are the Torah. We are the demons. We are the demon supporter. We are
Right. That's what happens when Satan manifests through you, man. Now I want to show you guys something else. Or again, we're still in the Quran, and we're going to see how Allah, the God of Islam, sanctions dingy without permission. How he sanctions dingy without permission. Son, don't request again, please, my brother. There's no need for you to request. You're not going to come up again. It's okay. I don't need you to come up again, my man. It's okay, bro. Don't request. So now, when you take something forcefully from someone else, when it comes to dingy, right? Let me just, son, just 1 second, my brother. If you just do this for me. Let me just, there we go. You gone. So when you take dingy from a person without permission, you guys know what I'm hinting at. Taking something, the dingy from a woman without her permission, is a crime. Now, let's see what we're going to go to now. This is now what the Quran sanctions. The Quran is sanctioning this. I'll show you how it sanctions this. Because let's say the dingy is penetrating a female without, or male, without his or her consent. Without the consent of a person doing this to them, this again, the dingy of a male or female without their consent is, you know the word, again, not allowed, not lawful, not legal. And it's considered a crime. Well, in most civil countries with a bit of a brain that doesn't have a majority of inbreeding, you know what I'm talking about. Now, the International Criminal Tribunal, established by the United Nations, defines it as this: a physical invasion of a dingy nature committed on a person under circumstances which are coercive. Now, so it's basically saying it's a physical invasion of the dingy. That's it. It's physical. You know. Now we're gonna see what Islam teaches. Now, by definition, we would have to look at captives of war and dingy slaves. The dingy slaves. These fit the category of what we just mentioned now. Now the question is Islam against this, or is Islam for this? Is Islam promoting the taking of to doing the dingy with a female or a male without their permission? This is what we're going to see. And we're going to see now that yes, Allah sanctions this in the Quran. Allah sanctions this in the Quran. Allah is okay with this in the Quran. So Islam is the only religion or only religious system in the world which includes rules for dingy in its theology. Only Islam. Islam is the only one. Now, since Muslims have this Quran, you'll notice that they will twist the meaning of the words and the meanings. They will twist it. They will try to change what it says. And, you know, unbelievable as it may seem, it is Allah that gave the Muslim men the right to do this to the women captives. Allah gives the men the right to do the dingy to the women captives. Now, remember that Muhammad himself had forced dingy with several captives of war. He said to his Sahaba, yes, sir, you can do it. Go and do it. And don't do coitus interruptus. For those that don't know what coitus interruptus is to pull out. Don't pull out, because if you leave it in and they do get pregnant, then it's by the will of Allah. We'll get to all that soon. Now remember that this was all during the golden days of Islam. And the Quran is for all time. So these verses are for all time. Now, watch this. This is the craziness. Ibn Ishaq, the book, the life of Muhammad, the Sirat Rasulullah by Ibn Ishaq on page 590, or even Tabari says this. And this is one of the of Muhammad's, this is what they declared. One of the warriors of Muhammad declared this. By Allah, I did not come to fight for nothing. I wanted a victory over the Taif, probably a group of people, so that now listen to this, so that I may obtain a slave girl from among them and make her pregnant. That's right. Page 590. Ibn Ishaq, 590, it says, as clear as day, he says, why? Because the Taif are a people who produce intelligent children. Imagine that, guys. Listen to what he said. The reason for that is that they produce intelligent children. So he's tired of having cousin babies, cousin marriage and cousin babies and stuff. He's like, man, these people are coming out dumber than most. These are thicker than thick. These people, they can't find two stones to rub together. So he's saying, I'm tired of these cousins of mine. I want me a woman that's going to give me intelligent children. Can you believe that? The reason is to have intelligent children. Let me just read this. This is from OG2Ns. He said, 2NV says, God bless and all thanks for the information to make me a better Christian. See that his name is Adam, or he said Amen. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. Now notice this. He wants intelligent children, so he will get them pregnant. MashaAllah. And in whose name? In the name of Allah. Now, Ibn Hisham, he says, you see, God will soon make you inherit their land and their treasures and make you sleep with their women. Make you sleep with their woman. Isn't that just crazy? Why am I the only one reacting to this and thinking this is just sick? This is awful. This is something that is satanic. Just 1 second, guys. Let me just mute myself for 2 seconds there. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. So now we can see that according to this religion, they are taking their captives, penetrating them. In the name of who? Allah. Don't forget, when you do dingy dingy, you have to say Bismillah. Don't forget that in Islam, you have to say Bismillah or your children come out weird, or you won't get pregnant. So now, while promising these women to these warriors, Muhammad told them, it is Allah who makes you sleep with their women. Allah. This is why we're talking about who is the one in Islam that gives you the right to dingy people without their consent. Without their consent. Now remember now, we're going to go to the Quran to see if it's true what I just said. Is it true that you can? Now, this is why people like M that came in to throw in insults never requests, because the topic of women in Islam is dangerous for them. A quick shout again for those that are not following me on the YouTube. The YouTube channel is The Agents 007. The Agents 007. Please follow me on or subscribe to the channel. Also, follow this backup account, because my main account, they told me today that I only have 2 more bans and then I lose the account forever and ever. Amen. Now, I'd like to keep that, so therefore I'm just using this backup to talk through. We will get there as well. Somebody, let me just see who said that. Hicks said, don't forget that a woman's silence is her consent. We'll get to all of that soon. So watch this now. In the Quran, again, going to the Quran, the inspired Quran, coming from the God of Islam, Allahu Akbar Allah, he said, on the authorization of Muhammad, given the divine desire to take woman as he wishes, says this. Because he's saying that, yes, you can take these women, do dingy with them without their consent. Why? Because they are your prisoners of war. Where do we find that? In the Quran, remember again, Allah provided these women purely for the gratification of his prophet and the Sahaba. Because what would make you follow a religion or a person? Money, power, dingy. Money, power, dingy. If you follow those 3 things there, you know, if I promise you something, promise you those 3, I'll tell you what, I'll have a following. I would have a following. I'm not going to present Sauda to you because she's old now and everything's hanging. I'll say to you, man, these women, everything is hanging exactly where it should be. Everything is, as you know, it's lovely, jubbly, okie dokie, and super duper. Join me, follow me. I'll give you some money as well. You'd be like, oh, come on, man. I'm in. You know, I'm in. And that's what Muhammad did. You see, Muhammad tried for many years trying to convince them about his lies and nonsense. And he found out, man, this is going nowhere. And then he must have sat back in his rocking chair, looking out at the grounds outside the kindergarten. And he thought, yeah, man, hang on a sec. Money, power, and dingy. And that's how he started. Now Allah heard him, or he heard Allah. So together they gave us Surah 3350. In Surah 33:50, what do we learn from this? It says in the Quran, in 33:50, it says, "Oh Prophet," Allah's like, man, hang on. You guys praying for peace, you guys praying for wisdom, you guys praying for food, you guys praying for water. Just be quiet. My man Mo, he needs some dingy dingy. So all he use asking for things, praying for things, I have no time. I got to fix Muhammad. Because if Muhammad needs something, we got to fix it. So what they do now, all these people praying, dear Lord, please, my husband's out of work, help him find a job. I was like, hey, hush, stop nagging, man. Mo needs some, And someone's like, oh my Lord, please, I got no food. Like, just go eat grass or something, man. Eat sand, just shut it. Mo needs another woman. The Sahaba need women. I need to fix something for Muhammad because his dingy dingy is so important to me. His dingy dingy is everything to me. So what happens? In the Quran we read, O Prophet, we have made lawful unto thee thy wives, unto whom thou hast paid their dowries, and those whom your right hand possesseth, for those whom Allah had given thee as spoils of war. Now remember, Muslims will run, Numbers 31, take the woman for yourselves. But there it says you must marry them. It doesn't say dingy dingy, but because Muslims thinking with their willy winkies, they want to now try to make it from the Bible. But again, the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says to marry them, make them your wife, be one with them. Not wives, your wife. But over here, the God of Islam is saying, take those whom your right hand possesseth. And now we have to go on and see what else it says. It says, let me just see. There's another translation, right? This is Maulana M. Ali. He says, O Prophet, we have made lawful to thee wives, whom thou hast given their dowries, and to whom thy right hand possesses, out of those whom Allah has given thee as prisoners of war. So who gave them these women? Allah. Now, Allah's morality here is so perverse. It's so sick, it's so disgusting, that he just can't see the difference between the graping of someone and something that is sacred. Allah doesn't see the difference. He's like, listen, man, I gave them to you. The same thing you do to your wife, do to this woman, because that's exactly the same. So either Allah is like, not interested or doesn't care, but he takes the sacred union between a man and a woman, and he's saying to them, go do it with anyone else. Take these people and forth. So it's not something special that's only between a man and a wife, his wife. So for us, we are taught that this is a holy union. This is something between a husband and a wife, something that's special to them. In Islam, it's like, it's not special. Go bang anyone you want. Do what you need to do. And Islam is saying, it's stating, it's making clear that it is lawful for Muhammad and the Sahaba to engage in this dingy with not only his wives, but also with the woman captives equally. Now, one of them is taking it forcefully. Although even in Islam, you can take it forcefully from your wife, or else Allah will send the angels and they will curse her until morning. Just remember now, because of this verse, Allah is legalizing, consenting to, making lawful the dingy with women without their consent. Without their consent. Now, isn't this just delightful for Muslim women? Isn't this fantastic for Muslim women? Because after you do this to them, and therefore pregnant, you're forcing them to convert to Islam. All this right hand possessed, you're forcing them into Islam. Now, why would Allah, the God of Islam, take so much of time out of his day to promote, let's say, illicit dingy for the pleasures of Muhammad? Again, you are praying, Lord, I'm out of work, help me. Allah's like, nah, Muhammad needs dingy. The Sahaba need to find women. Don't ask for stuff. Don't ask me for water. Don't ask me about your child being sick. We got to fix Muhammad's dingy problems first. This is how I understand this. Evil, sadistic nature of this God of Islam. And it doesn't stop there, man. Remember, Muhammad is the perfect example. He's the best example to mankind. And he and his God are promoting this immoral, wicked, disgusting acts through the Quran. This is the teachings of the God of Islam. Now, we know that is not only for Muhammad, because it was also for the Sahaba, meaning it's also for Muslims today. So this is why Muslim men today are given the same authorization to do this to these women. So when you see all these alphabets in Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, in Nigeria, in all these Muslim countries that are the T words, and they do this, they are doing it in the name of Allah. They are given the same privileges as their prophet. And the Quran is confirming this. The Quran is confirming this. Let me show you this in the Quran. I'll give you a few verses. In Surah 23, let me go there, please. In Surah 23, if we go on to, we'll start at 1. It says, triumphant indeed are the believers who restrain their carnal desires, except with their spouses and slave girls. The practice of carnal relations is lawful with them. My word, listen to that again. I'll read another translation. This is Yusuf Ali. He says, the believers must win through who obtain dingy, except with those joined to them in marriage bond or the captives whom their right hand possesses. For in their case, they are free from blame. Raping them is free from blame. Another translation said, successful indeed are believers who abstain from sexual immodesty, except those joined with them in marriage or the captives whom their right hand possesses, for then, verily, they are free from blame. You are graping these women, and Allah is saying, it's okay, you are free from blame. Remember that these captives are these women. It's saying abstain from sex, stay away from dingy. But it doesn't say from the slaves. It's talking about you can do it with your wives and whom your right hand possesses. And again, if they say no, you do it anyways, and then you are free from blame. We can see Allah grants Muslim men the freedom to gratify their carnal desires with the captives and their wives, and they are free from blame if they do that. Because if you are captive, you're not willingly going to open up and say, oh, please, listen, dude, you just unalived my husband, my brothers, my father, my family, my son. Man, that just turns me on. Would you please penetrate me? This will be the best day of my life. I would have nothing more than that. Just come on, man. Plow me like a field. Plow me like a field, and we're all good. Because this is what I want. Can you imagine that, guys? Imagine that. So if the man goes to this woman, he does his dingy with her without her consent, Allah says, you're good. Your right hand possesses her. You own her, so you are free from blame. Now, one of the people that Maududi, he's another commentator when it comes to the tafsirs and explanations of the Quran. And his interpretation is also something to go with. Now, Maududi says, and again, the two categories of women which have been excluded from general command of guarding the private parts, that is wives and women who are legally in one's possessions, that is slave girls, says this: Thus, the verse clearly lays down the law that one is allowed to have stingy-dingy relations with one's slave girl as one's wife. The basis being possession and not marriage. If marriage had been the condition, the slave girl would also be included among the wives, and there was no need to mention them separately. So they're making a distinction. He's saying that the slave girls are not wives. They are slave girls. This is why there's a distinction between the wives and the slave girls. Now, Allah, Akbar Allah, He is saying that you can do dingy without permission on the wife and the slave girls, and you are free from blame. You can't make this up. So he made it perfectly clear that according to the Quran, marriage is not a prerequisite for Muslims to engage in dingy with their slaves. They don't need to marry them. They don't need to marry these girls or to enslave them through captivity. These people are taking these women, raping them by the permission of Allah, and they are free from blame. I told you guys a Muslim will come in and talk about Numbers and Deuteronomy and Samuel. I told you they would. They're not saying that this is wrong because they're saying whataboutism. But that's typical Muslim. Because they can't deny what the Quran says, they're now going to find excuses for it. This is why the Quran, Muslims, and Islam is so sad. It's sad. I can give you the explanations, Mufasa, but you are not smart enough to take it. Go and read Deuteronomy 21. Start at 10 and see what it says. You get your answer. It says to marry them. To marry them, Mufasa. To marry them. You take any captives, you marry them. Your Quran is saying she's not your wife. Dingy them without her permission. That's what your Quran teaches. And this is why the shame of Islam gets deeper. It's shameful, it's disgusting, it's evil. It's making absolutely sure that even married captives are not spared from this. Because even if, according to Islam, the woman is married, but she's taken by these desperate men, by the Sahaba, like Muhammad, only thinking with these dingy willy, that's it. Allah is saying they still married, but they are your captives. Where do we find that? Surah 424. It says, also forbidden are married women, unless they are captives of war, such is the decree of Allah. Another translation on the same verse says, also forbidden for you are married women, except those who have fallen in your hands as prisoners of war. Does it say you need to marry them? No, it doesn't. What does it say? You can grape them in the name of Allah. So don't forget, before you do dingy with your slave girl, you still have to say Bismillah. You graping someone, you taking it, you without her consent, the first thing you have to do is say Bismillah, in the name of Allah. You penetrating them in the name of Allah. So Allah's joining you in the sickness, in this disgusting stuff that you're doing. This is Allah who is helping you. He's holding it up for you. He's like the flagpole. Disgusting, evil, and sick. My man, Christian, Sheikh, how are you, bro?
God bless you all, believers and non-believers. سلام المسيح للجميع. شلام دمشيح الكل. 3 languages, man. What's up, brothers and sister? How are you, my brother James? God bless.
Day, my man. Another beautiful day.
I know. Hey, I want to give you 3 verses. 1, 2, 3. It's like regarding your topic, maybe. I'm gonna give you Habibi Ali. I will give you some things. If you agree with it, we can talk about it. If it's not, I'm just gonna. So you have 2 chapters. It's talking about foolish, and sufaha in Arabic is foolish. And Allah, He, according to the commentary, is Allah talking about the women. He called them foolish. Another verse is talking about David and his women. And in the verse, as soon you read it, you will see that it's saying ews. So the female of the sheep, right? The sheep male. But if you go to the commentaries, actually it's talking about the women. They said the women, they used to call them ews, the female of the sheep. So it's up to you. Do you want to talk about it? I can give you the verses or no?
Give me 10 seconds. What I want to do is I want to just show a hadith talking about the prisoners of war, the women that are married, and then we can take it. I just want to read this hadith because it's just as I said from the Quran, when it talks about in Surah 424, it says these are the captives of war. Now again, the captives of war are married women. Married women. Now in the Quran, in the hadith, Sahih Muslim says this. It says, let me just see, reported that the battle of Hunain, Allah's messenger sent an army to Utas and encountered the enemy and fought with them. Having overcome them and taking them captives, the companions of Allah's messenger seemed to refrain from having dingy with the captive woman because of their husbands being polytheists. Then Allah, Akbar Allah, the Most High, sent down regarding, and women already married except those whom your right hand possesses. This is showing you that the God of Islam has absolutely no regard or respect for marriage, and he's allowing men to commit adultery by sleeping with married women. Not only there, another one in Sunan Abi Dawud, he says this: the Apostle of Allah sent a military expedition to Autas on the occasion of the Battle of Hunain. They met their enemy and fought them. They defeated them and took them captives. Some of the companions of Allah's Apostle were reluctant to have dingy with the female captives in the presence of their husbands who were unbelievers. They had husbands alive. And what happens? So Allah exalted, sent down the verse, and all married women are forbidden except those your right hand possesses. So the God of Islam has zero respect for the sanctity of marriage, and he's allowing a dingy with married women. This is the God of Islam allowing this. This is why I'm saying to you that the God of Islam took time out of his busy day. He is like, man, listen, Ahmed, I know that you're asking for the health of your child. I know you, Ali, are looking for more food. I know you, Muhammad, are looking, you need, no. Kutum needs me first. Kutum and his boys need me first because they have to have dingy because they have no self-control. So far, guys, all I've done is gone from the Quran to the tafsirs and now hadith, showing you that the God of Islam is the one that is sanctioning, that is okay with the unlawful dingy of people without their permission. The God of Islam is the one sanctioning it and is okay with taking the dingy or doing dingy with people that have not consented. That is Islam so far. Okay, my man, Ronnie, all yours.
Thank you so much. Don't forget that Muhammad, he actually have sex slave that he used, according to Sunan al-Nasa'i 3959, was saying that Muhammad, he have actually one under his hand and he used to have intercourse with her. The simple thing is, Muslim, they always try to deny it. Muslim, they always try to say, no, he married her. There is no one source is saying Muhammad, he married Maria the Captic. Mary the Captic, she was a Christian. And after that, she became a Muslim. She was gifted to Muhammad as a gift, not from war, but she was gifted as a gift. Her and her sister and her cousin, male cousin. Then Muhammad, he picked the beautiful one, which is Maria, and he have intercourse with her in the day of Hafsa, according to chapter 66, verse 1, is saying this is what happened. If they gonna deny it, they're gonna say, oh, it's talking about the honey. Okay, so if it's talking about the honey, how come that chapter 66, verse 4, I believe, or 5. The verse, the reason of revelation, because of the women of the prophet, they were arguing with Muhammad and they made him mad. This is one. Second of all, if they deny that Muhammad, he actually had intercourse with Maria al-Qibtiyya, so simple, guys. Very simple, simple search. It's just right. The sons of the Prophet Muhammad. Put it on Google, and it will show you the list of the sons of the Prophet. One of them, you will see Abraham. Click on his name. It will tell you the mother of Abraham, what was her name. Then, when you're going to see her name is Maria the Captic, search about her. See if she's the wife of the Prophet or not. So simple, so easy. This way, you're going to prove, hey, did Muhammad have kids? Yeah. Did he have a son, his name Ibrahim? Oh, yeah. Okay, what is his mother's name? Oh, Maria the Captic. Is she the wife of the Prophet? No. Yes. No. Okay, so your sources say no, she's not the wife of the Prophet. So he had intercourse with the woman, and then she buried a kid for him. He named him Ibrahim. He died at the age of 18 months old because of high fever and died. And this is the reason of why he died. You got chapter. I'm going to go to my thing. You got chapter 2, verse 13. If you read it the first time, I would say the foolish, right? But the foolish is actually, what is it? Where is it? Yeah. You said وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء إلا أنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون. So you got this chapter 2 verse 13, and you got chapter 4 verse 5. Chapter 4, this chapter is actually about the women, and so beautiful that Allah, he actually give favor to women. He give favor to cow and the ant and the spider too, and the table and the chair. Anyway, so chapter 4 verse 5 is talking about women. Bye, Habibti. It's the first two words, وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ. Chapter 4 verse 5. If you go to the commentary, Ibn Kathir is talking, I believe Ibn Kathir, yeah. So you got Ibn Kathir is talking about the women and the kids, the youth. This is what Allah is talking about, according to Ibn Abbas, through Ibn Kathir tafsir. Okay? Muslim, they always try to deny. I say, no, it's not. But actually, your scholar, they saying here, Allah is talking about women. Is not talking about anyone else except women. وَلَا تُؤْتُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ. This one's chapter 38, verse 24. Chapter 38, 24. It's talking about Eus and David and stuff like that. So if you go to that, when you read it, it's talking about Eus. It's not talking about women. How you got women from there? Like, I just want to understand, you Christian, how like you got women from this verse? Oh, this is what Allah, he, like the Muslim, they trust the commentaries, the tafsirs, the scholars. You got Tabari. Tabari, according to this chapter, this verse is saying this is talking about women. This is what the Arab, they used to call their women Eus.
What is the verse again?
Chapter 38, verse 24. Tafsir al-Tabari.
No, go on. I'm just...
Yeah, and that's it. This is what I want to say. I think I have more, but this is what I got for now from my side. So there's a lot of things. You mentioned like the right hand possessed. It's so like, you can prove it so easy. So easy you can prove it. It's very simple. You mentioned Zainab bint Huyay, Zainab bint Jahsh, and Safiya bint Huyay. Safiya bint Huyay, you mentioned her story. Her story is very sad. It's very sad about a Jewish woman. That Muhammad, he actually, there's different stories behind it, James. There's different stories behind it. One of the stories is saying that because they want to protect this hadith or this story, is saying, she had a dream before Muhammad invade her city, her village. And she told her father about Muhammad. Her father refused to give her to Muhammad. And then when Muhammad attacked her village, she was so happy. He unalived her husband. She was a new wedded wife.
She's a bride. Yeah, new
She
wife.
was yes, she was a bride, a new bride. He unalived her husband. He unalived his family, the husband's family. He unalived her family, her brother, her father, and then he took her as a concubine, and he had intercourse with her the way back to the village, to his village. But the thing is about a brother, they have, according to Quran, the Sunnah of the Prophet, the iddah is the 3 months. So if a Muslim man want to marry a woman and she already divorced or she's married when her husband divorced her, he have to wait 3 months to have her as a wife and have intercourse with her. But with this case, Muhammad had intercourse with her the same day way back to his village. You know what I'm saying? So why he did not apply the word of Allah for this poor lady? And the second story is that Muhammad, he actually invaded her village and alive people. His friend, which is, I'm gonna say, his right hand person, his name Dahiya al-Kalbi. Dahiya al-Kalbi, he had Safiya bint Huyay, the concubine of the Prophet. He already had her. Then people, they snitch on him. They said, hey, Dahiya al-Kalbi, he have a beautiful concubine. She just fit for you. And she just like, she should be for you, not for him. And he went to him and he told him, you know what? Pick any woman you want. Pick anything you want. I will give it to you, but give me the woman you have. And then he agreed to it. So they exchanged. He actually bought her from him because he gave him things. And then he took Safiya and he had intercourse with her. But the way he had intercourse with her, there was a guard by his tent. So there was a guard by his tent. Muhammad, he did not know. And Muhammad, when he finished with her, he went out and he saw the man standing by the tent. He said, what are you doing here? Oh, you know what? I was afraid that she's going to unalive you because you just unalive her family. And I was afraid she's going to do something. This is why I was guarding you. He said, okay, you are a good man. So this is the story of it. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate it, man. Yeah,
God
go
bless,
ahead.
man. God bless. I just want to show what you said from the verse 38:24. The translation says that it was a metaphor for a woman. So calling a woman a you was a metaphor for a woman.
Boom shakalaka laka boom. God bless you, James. Have a good day, bud.
God bless, bro. Alrighty. For those that are not following me, please do me a favor and follow me on the YouTube channel, The Agents 007. Also, please follow me on my backup account, the account next to the one I have now, because I have given a couple of warnings now on YouTube, TikTok, and they told me 2 more violations and I lose my account completely. So please follow me on both accounts. Now we're going to get back. We're going to get back to 424, where, as you can see, when it talks about sleeping with married women, the God of Islam is okay with married women. It's both are me, holy. There's no Muslims requesting yet. They doing some searches about what I've said so far so that they can prove me wrong. So now we can see, right, that according to this Quran, it's okay to sleep with women even though they have husbands alive and present. It's not a problem. And we can see that this is happening all over the world today. All over the world, where Islam legitimizes this behavior. It is only Islam that is saying this behavior is acceptable, and okay, because 424 makes it acceptable. And again, this is an indisputable fact. They can't say that we are lying about it because it says clearly. Now, Ibn Kathir, he says regarding Surah 424, he confirms that Allah is the one that is authorizing the dingy of these captives. Allah does. Now, again, you Muslims know that you are more than welcome to request. As you can see, what I'm talking about today is basically, hang on a second, I know why. Now I'm just saying that now you can see that the only thing I'm talking about is that the God of Islam is okay with this type of behavior. The God of Islam, again, is okay with this, and he is the one that authorizes it and is okay with it. Ibn Kathir says for Surah 424. Now it says, let me just pin this as well. I'll get to that in a second. We'll see if it says that. So again, notice that even on the YouTube, I'm pinning stuff that people are saying. I'm pinning it, and I want, because we do it everything transparent over here, right? Now he's saying over here that Numbers 30 says women's vows require male approval. Now we know from the Old Testament that the woman was seen as lower than men. We know that, but Jesus treated them equally. Jesus treated them equally. Now remember, the Bible is not hiding stuff from us. The Bible is not hiding stuff from us. They just open about it. They just tell you that. Now again, let's go back to the Ibn Kathir for verse 424. He says, the ayah means, also forbidden are you, already married, except those who your right hand possesses. You are prohibited from marrying women who are already married. Now watch this. You are prohibited from marrying women who are already married, but you can penetrate them. But you can penetrate them. This is crazy. Watch this. It goes on. It says, except those whom your right hands possess, except those whom you acquire through war, you are allowed such women after making sure they are not pregnant. That's just to make sure that the child is yours, not, or his, not the other way around. So Imam Ahmed recorded that Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said, we capture some women from the area of the Autas who were already married, and we disliked having dingy with them because they already had husbands. They already had husbands. So we asked the Prophet about this matter, and this ayah was revealed, also forbidden a woman already married except those whom your right hand possesses. Accordingly, we had dingy relations with these women. Now it's saying that these women, they had dingy, and look what it says, because they already had husbands, not the husbands passed away, they already had husbands. They were married, but Allah says it's okay. And 424 confirms the forcing yourself on a person without their consent. It's confirming the graping, confirming adultery and fornication. And this is sanctioned by the God of Islam. The God of Islam, nobody else. The God of Islam. 423 and 424, when a woman or child is taken captive, they become slaves by the fact of the capture, and the woman's previous marriage is immediately annulled. Who is saying this? This is a sheikh that came out many years later to make this make sense. This is from the legal manual of Amdat al-Salik, which carries, this is from the Al-Azhar University. They make this statement because they can see how disgusting and evil Islam is, how awful this is, they now came out with a statement from the University of Al-Azhar to make it make sense, because they themselves were vomiting, having the taste of vomiting in their mouth from just reading these verses. So what he's saying is that these marriages are annulled, and the question mark is there. It says why? So that they are free to become the concubines of their captors. Then it says the Quran permits Muslim men to have dingy with their wives and their slave girls. And then he quotes the Quran, Surah 423 and 424. Imagine now in 2020, whatever this, whoever this Al-Azhar University dude was, can you imagine him coming up and now trying to make this make sense? Because he knows that fornication, adultery, and raping someone is a sick, disgusting thing. So he's now trying to change it. He's trying to make it make sense. He's trying to make it palatable. So someone's saying, be careful, son, we know your face. Can you guys see that? The guy called N321. N321. Let me give you an invite, my man. Let me give you the power to come up and have a conversation. I'm not sure if you want to come up, you can just say it to my face that you know so well. Would you like to come up? Come on, 321. I sent you an invite. Come up and say what you wanted to say. Don't be shy. Don't be like Muhammad. 321. I sent you an invite. Come up. You know my face. Come up. Just stay respectful. What have I said that's not respectful? I'm reading from your Quran. So if I'm not respectful, then Quran is. Let's meet, you mean. Let's do that. Come up and I'll meet you. Come up. I'll send you another invite. Another invite. Why are you so scared, my man? Why don't you come up? Have a conversation. You know my face? Come up. Come up and let's see if it's me that's being disgusting, evil, or is it the book that we just read? Come on, dude. Why are you laughing? Did you look down in your pants and now you're having a chuckle at what you saw? Come on. Don't be like Muhammad. Dude, 321, you know my face. So then I can't hide. If you know my face, come up. Nobody mute him. Any mods in here, don't mute him. He says to me, I need to be careful. He's telling me that he knows my face. Don't think for 1 second that you will intimidate me. Not for 1 second will you intimidate me. I'm not one of these women you've taken capture and you think you're going to just satisfy yourself with me. I'll put up a fight, bro. But I'm asking you to come on up. Don't run. That's right. That's what I thought. You're a coward like your God and your prophet. Now, we're going to continue on the same line. Now we're going to see now, Muhammad and Allah allow you to force yourself onto these women. Muhammad and Allah force you to lie with these women and to do what you need to do with them without their consent. This is what the Quran is now teaching. The Quran teaches us. He sanctions the unlawful dingy of women without their permission. He's allowing this. Now we're going to see whether these men have self-respect and try not to impregnate these women. So if we have to look at this religion again, I would say that Islam is spiritually bankrupt. And it has to find other alternatives to motivate Muslims to be Muslim. Don't think about this coward in the chat that came up just to pretend he had muscles or pretend he was a man. But this is what Islam is saying. Islam is saying, be like this guy called 321. Force yourself on people using, that's right, terror, force, and violence. Force yourself. So he's coming in here trying to use terror, force, and violence in the hope that I will stop doing what I'm doing. Because he's trying to intimidate me. He thinks I'm one of these captures that he got in war, one of his right-hand possessors. nothing more than a coward like Muhammad. Now we're going to read from the hadiths. I'm going to show you again from the hadiths how Muhammad is telling them not only to grape these people, not only to take them, do dingy with them. He's also making sure that they get pregnant, that there's a chance that they can get pregnant. So let's see now. Again, Sahih Bukhari says this. Sahih Bukhari, in volume 3, book 46, in hadith number 718, he says this. Narrated Muhayyariz, I saw Abu Said and asked him about coitus interruptus. I mentioned this earlier, coitus interruptus, and said, we went to Allah's apostle in the Ghazwa of Bali al-Mustalik, and we captured some of the Arabs as captives, and we captured some of the Arabs as captives, and the long separation from our wives was pressing us hard, and we wanted to practice coitus interruptus. So they wanted to practice coitus interruptus. We asked Allah's apostle whether it was permissible. He said, it is better for you not to do so. Not to do so. No soul, that which Allah has destined to exist up to the day of resurrection, but will definitely come into existence. So remember now, guys, when you are doing dingy in Islam, you are supposed to say Bismillah. Now you are forcing yourself on a woman. Now remember, I think it was Solomon that was asking for children, or someone was asking for children, and they tried and tried and tried, and Allah refused to give them until they said Bismillah. And the Muslims are taught that before they do dingy with their wives, they must say Bismillah. Now you're doing dingy with these people, you're about to force yourself on someone, and guess what you have to say? You have to say again, Bismillah. You can't make this up. So now he says no soul it will be if Allah doesn't want it to be. So if you're forcing yourself on this woman, there's a chance that they will become pregnant, but they can only become pregnant according to Islam if you say Bismillah. In the name of Allah. In the name of Allah. In the name of Allah. They are doing this to the woman in the name of Allah. So now we're going to see again another hadith, Sahih Muslim, volume 2, Sahih 3371. This is what it says. It says, Abu Samira said to Abu Said al-Khudri, O Abu Said, did you hear Allah's messenger mentioning about al-azl, coitus interruptus? He said yes, and added, we went out with Allah's messenger on the expedition to the Mustalik and took captives some excellent Arab woman. Imagine that. Some excellent Arab woman. Some excellent Arab woman. And we desired them, for we were suffering from the absence of our wives. Wow, shame, mashallah. And we desired them, for we were suffering from the absence of our wives. But at the same time, we also desired ransom for them. So we decided to have dingy with them, but by observing the azl, which is withdrawing the male dingy organ before emission of semen to avoid conception. So they were doing the pull out. They were pulling out. But we said, we are doing an act, whereas Allah's messenger is among us. Why not ask him? So they asked Allah's messenger, and he said, it is not a matter if you do not do it, for every soul that is born up to the day of resurrection will be born. Do you see how sick this religion is? So you are forcing yourself on someone. Even these guys are like, hey man, listen man, we can't, they're married. Muhammad's like, yeah, you can do it. Then they go, listen man, we need to pull out so we don't get them pregnant. He's like, nah, you make sure you leave it in Because if they get pregnant, they get pregnant. And again, if they get pregnant, it's by the will of Allah. Here's another one for you. Sahih Bukhari, volume 9, hadith number 506. Narrated by blah, blah, blah Qudri that the battle of Bani blah, blah, blah captured some females and intended to do dingy with them without impregnating them. So they asked the Prophet about coitus interruptus. And he said, it is better that you should not do it, coitus interruptus, meaning don't pull out. He says, for Allah has written, whom he is going to create till the day of resurrection. And I heard Abu Sa'id saying that the Prophet said, no soul is ordained to be created, but Allah will create it. Now again, guys, notice again, these guys are still saying, man, we just finished the battle. We've taken these women captives, they married. Muhammad's like, hang on, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-ling. That's Jibreel coming now, getting a new message from his God. And he goes, Allah said it's okay, even though they married, they lawful for you. Then these guys are like, man, we want to, pull out because we got enough kids now in the village, with all our 4 wives and stuff. We got, it's child support and stuff, man. This is hard stuff. Muhammad's like, hang on a second. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. That's Jibreel again, coming down saying, you know that when you penetrate the woman, you need to say Bismillah. So if they fall pregnant, they fall pregnant. If they don't, they don't. Let's just gamble with that. Again, according to Islam, coitus interruptus, not allowed. Not allowed. You let it in. You put the semen back in the ship. You put your car in the garage and you leave it there. Don't pull out. By the will of Allah. By the will of Allah. Again, so these women, right, are being humiliated, degraded, insulted, you name it. They have been forced to do things they don't want to do. And again, every soul that is to be born up until the day of resurrection will be born by the will of Allah. So say your Bismillah before you force yourself on these young girls or these women. You take what you want from them, and then you humiliate them by making them pregnant, even though their husbands are still there. Remember what I said now, because according to Muhammad, if a child were to be born to a female captive, this would be the result of the divine decree of Allah. Not only is Allah allowing this, he's saying, oh, I will give you a child as well. Now, a child is supposed to be one of the best gifts someone can have. The best gift you can give someone that God gave us is the gift of children. We are able to produce life. Unbelievable. Let me show you another one. This is another one, because in another account, Muhammad, he seemed to be impatient with his companions. He was like eager to get them dingied up. He's like, come on, man, let's get this adulterous orgy started. He wanted his companions to force themselves immediately on these women. He wanted them to practice, not to practice this coitus interruptus. He says, he shouts 3 times, verily do it, verily do it, verily do it. Where do we find this? Let me show you this. Let me show you guys this, because this is crazy. So listen to this now. This again is Sahih Muslim. Sahih Muslim 1438C. 1438C. We took women captives and we wanted to do dingy with them. We asked Allah's messenger about it. He said to us, verily do it, verily do it, verily do it. But the soul which has to be born until the day of judgment must be born. The guy was cheering them on. You think I'm joking, man? Let me show you this. I'm not even joking. Watch this. This is Sahih Muslim 1438C. We took women captives and we wanted to do the pull out with them, the dingy with them. Then we asked Allah's messenger about it, and he said, Verily do it, verily do it, verily do it. But the soul which has to be born until the day of judgment must be born. The dude was cheering them on. Can you believe how disgusting this guy is, sitting there chanting, verily do it, verily do it. Can you believe this? Oh my goodness, man. This is crazy. If you guys haven't seen this before, this is crazy. Well, guess what? Because they were followers of Muhammad, they obeyed. They obeyed and they did it. They did it. And whether these absolute filthy, disgusting monsters, practice coitus interruptus or not, it doesn't take away the crime committed. There's a crime being committed in the name of Allah. Don't forget, they have to say Bismillah. This is why I'm saying to you, Muhammad, Allah, Islam, they sanction the unlawful dingy with women. And this is why these Muslims today in 2025 will hide and run from this, because again, this shows you that the God of Islam is okay with adultery, fornication, and the unlawful dingy of these women. And that was not just for back then. It is exactly the same today. Exactly the same today. Let me show you this again. Sahih Bukhari, volume 3, book 46, and if you go to the hadith number 717, says this, narrated Ibn Aun. The Prophet had suddenly attacked Bani Mustalik without warning, typical coward, while they were heedless, and their cattle were being watered at the places of water. Their fighting men were unalived, and their women and children taken as captives. The Prophet got Juwayriyah on that day. That's like a trophy, I'm guessing. I don't know. So the Prophet took these captives. He attacked them when their backs were turned. They were heedless. They had no idea. And like a true coward, he sucker punched them. And again, if we go back to the book I spoke about earlier, in Ibn Ishaq, page 464 in his book, he said, after 800 or 900 males of the Bani Quraysh were unalived in batches and thrown in the trenches dug in Medina, Muhammad divided their property, wives and children as booty. But he took Rayhana, someone Kunafaya, for himself. Muhammad, the best example to mankind, guys, the best example to mankind, takes these girls, children for himself. And there was Rayana bint Amr, took her for himself. And this is what we talked about Safiya earlier when Christian Sheikh was up here. Christian Sheikh mentioned Safiya. This was the girl that, again, her family was unalived, and Muhammad took her. She was 17 years old, newlywed. Let me read this for you. Her name was Sufiya bint Huway ibn Khattab. She was a Jewish woman captured by Muhammad after he attacked her tribe. And she again was brought to Muhammad as share of the booty. 17 and beautiful. All under the orders of Muhammad and Allah Akbar Allah. What did the Muslims do? Unalived her father, many of her relatives, and then Muhammad ordered Kiana, the young husband of Safiya, to be tortured. He was tortured, and the whereabouts of the treasure was given, because remember he put hot coals on the chest to find out where the money was, because he was a thief. He was just a thief. He was just a big thief. He was a thief. I'll say it again, he was a thief. Muhammad was a thief. So what did he do now? He unalives Kayana, he unalives him, and he takes control of another man's wife. This young widow, she literally lost her husband. And as Christian Sheikh said, he didn't wait the 3 months or the 40 days. No, Allah looked down at him and said, oh, don't you worry about a thing. I got you. I got you, Muhammad. Don't you worry. So in Ibn Hisham's book, he says this: Safiya was born in Medina. She belonged to the Jewish tribe of the Banu Nadir. When this tribe was expelled from Medina in the year 4 after Hijrah, Blabla was one of those who settled in the fertile colony of the Khaybar together with Kiana ibn al-Rabi, to whom Safiya was married a little before the Muslims attacked Khaybar. She was then 17. 1 mile from Khaybar, here the Prophet married Safiya. 1 mile. So after unaliving her family, unaliving everyone, 1 mile later, Muhammad married her. It says she was groomed and made up for the Prophet by Sulaim, the mother of Anas ibn Malik. They spent the night there. Abu Ubaidah Ansari guarded the tent of the Prophet the whole night. Why did he guard the tent? When in the early hours the Prophet saw Abu Uyub strolling up and down, he asked him what he meant by the sentry go. He replied, I was afraid for you with this young lady. You unalived her father, her husband, and many of her relatives. And until recently, she was an unbeliever. I was afraid for you on her account. So even this guy was like, hang on, man, you just unalived our entire family 1 mile ago. You waited till the next morning to marry her, and now you dingy her. And, so my question is again for the Muslims. What woman at 17 who loses her father, her husband, her family, her relatives, is going to be eager for something tomorrow morning? That's on page 766 from Ibn Hisham, the book of Tabakat, Tabaqat, 766, page 766. This is how evil this religion is. It's evil, guys, evil, absolutely evil. Muhammad made widows of young women just so that he could dingy them and assault them. He could not restrain from his dingy urges. Yes, 766. He couldn't really stop himself. The urges of himself were just, this dude must have been an addict. Imagine you unalive someone's entire family and then expect them to be wet for you. It's like, come on, man. There's no compassion in monsters. Remember that the captives that were not good enough, these were either sold or used as dingy slaves. Now just think, which woman would want to marry the unaliver of her father, her husband, and her relatives? How does that turn you on? He was nothing more than a common thief and an unaliver and a serial, that's right, a serial rapist. Evil, disgusting person. But to Muslims, he's the best example to mankind. The best example. Now remember, Allah promised the Muslim warriors much booty. He said that they will acquire, they will get whatever they capture, they can keep. Even though these women are married, it's like, okay, don't worry about that. It's okay, just take them as you want them. Do what you need to do. Now imagine this from the woman's point of view. She just experienced one of the most horrifying events in her life, the destruction of property and family, and then the guy that done it all is the one that she needs to go sleep with. Can you believe this, man? This is Islam. I'll show you something else. I'll read something else for you guys. This is another. Let me just find the hadith for you. I'm actually forgetting hadiths, guys. Okay, here we go. Sahih Bukhari. So it says, the Prophet sent Ali to Khalid to bring the kumus of the booty. And I hated Ali. And Ali had taken a bath after a sexual dingy with a slave girl from the humus. I said to Khalid, don't you see, that is Ali, when we reached the Prophet, I mentioned that to him. He said, oh Buraidah, do you hate Ali? I said, yes. He said, do you hate him for he deserves more than that from the humless? What is it talking about? If you analyze this hadith, it's telling you that the Prophet said to Ali to go get Khalid and to bring the humlus. What is that? That's the body of booty. But Ali, he had taken a bath after dingy with one of these girls. Now the humus is the 1/5 of the spoils of war that only Muhammad can have. Now among the booty were beautiful women. And Ali, he did dingy with one of them. Now what was Muhammad's response to this? He says, do you hate him for he deserves more than that from the humus? Man, this single episode just shows you how sick Islam is, how bad this whole religion is, that you're taking a newly captured female prisoner and then you do dingy with her. And when Muhammad was informed of this, he didn't get upset and all that. He wasn't, creating whatever. He wasn't concerned about the welfare of this woman or anything like that. He wasn't shocked that she was taken and, done dingy with. Because doing this dingy with war girls and war slaves is a routine in Islam. Allah's religion, Allah said it's okay. So they do this because it's allowed to do this. They're nothing more than sexual objects for Muslim men to gratify themselves. This is why Muslim men today, this is why the little girls have to be covered, because these Muslim men have never been able to control themselves. This is why Afghanistan covers their women like this, because the Muslim men can't control themselves. They've never been able to. From the time of Muhammad to today, these women have never been able to be looked at as equals or as anything other than just commodity that can be bought and sold, used and thrown away. They're nothing more than condoms. You use it, you throw it away. Another hadith. Let me just find this one as well. Let me just see. If I can find this as well. And I hope that even though there's no Muslims coming up, I hope this is informative. I hope you guys are actually learning and, let me show you this. This is another one that's Sahih Muslim. Just trying to. Almost there. Sahih Muslim, book 19, hadith number 4345. And it goes on and says, and when we attacked from all sides and reached their watering place, there was where a battle was fought. Some of the enemies were unalived and some were taken prisoners. I saw a group of persons that consisted of women and children escaping in the distance. I was afraid lest they should reach the mountain before me, so I shot an arrow between them and the mountain. When they saw the arrow, they stopped, so I brought them, driving them along. So again, the women and children aren't free to go away. No, the Muslim wants them. Even if they're as ugly as the backside of a PIG, they still want them. What else does it say? I drove along until they brought them to Abu Bakr, who bestowed the girl upon me as a prize. So guess what? Abu Bakr says, oh, I saw this girl, man. It says, oh, don't you worry. She's a prize. You can have her. She's just a thing that you can keep. So we arrived in Medina. I had not yet disrobed her when the messenger met me in the street and said, "Give me that girl." Muhammad said, "Give me that girl." Can you believe this, man? The God of Islam, he's saying, give me that girl. You can't make this up, man. Muhammad is like, give me that girl. I want her. She's mine. She had not yet disrobed. In other words, he hadn't raped her yet. He hadn't taken advantage of her. He didn't force her yet. He's still getting there. I had not yet disrobed her when the messenger of Allah, I mean, he had eyes everywhere. He's like, hang on, I want some of that. I want some of that. I want some of that. Give me that girl. That's a predator. A predator. Someone that is addicted to dingy dingy. He's a predator. That's why Islam means submission. You submit to who? Allah and Muhammad. Submission. Submit to him. And this is why Muhammad allowed all this dingy dingy, and he was doing it himself. Again, the God of Islam sanctions it, Muhammad enforces it, and these people are now doing it in whose name? Allah and Muhammad's name. MashaAllah. And my point again, in Islam, you cannot do dingy dingy without saying Bismillah. You're supposed to say thank you, Allah, for everything, because what is it? Allah ordained it. Allah gave it to you. So you need to be grateful. Allah is the one that made you have it. You must be grateful. Now remember, now Islam is supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be best for the world. The best religion, it's the most perfect religion. Now how can you improve on something that's already perfect? If Islam is already perfect and these verses are perfect, that means that we have to have a perfect religion. So if it's a perfect religion, Islam will always remain perfect, but it will always remain evil too. And remember, if Muslims become powerful again, they will go back to this, and they will this policy of enslavement and forcing themselves on women. They will go back to it. Because remember, the IQ of a Muslim is low, so they still believe this. They will continue in this. You'll find that there'll be, you'll think that they're collecting stones. And once they collect stones, you think they're going to build you a monument? No, they're using it for toilet paper. Guys, just quickly, I saw DJ's in the house and he mentioned Duron. I was banned this morning. When I woke up this morning after being live with Duron yesterday, at some point they banned me. So I didn't know I was banned until this morning for hate speech. So I don't understand that, because I wasn't banned on the live after I left the live. And then they told me I only have 2 more strikes and then I lose my account permanently. And they want me to do a course. I'm not even joking. TikTok sent me a course, a 15-minute course that I need to take to understand the rules of TikTok. I'm not even joking, guys. They sent me a picture of a course that will take 15 minutes for me to understand the TikTok's regulations, or whatever you call it. So I didn't do that, but they gave me, so I appealed the live and the ban, and I got my live back this morning. And then they told me I've got 2 more strikes and I'm done. So that's why I'm having 2 accounts up. So I'm talking through my backup, but please, so if you don't follow the backup account, follow the backup account as well. So that if I do lose my main account, we can always go back to this account. And I'll say this, that my main account is actually the longest I've ever had it. In the 6 years I've been doing this, this is the longest I've had any of my accounts. It has been banned a few times, but I've lost 8 accounts last year. Not last year, maybe last year before. 8 accounts permanently lost, gone forever. Either last year or the year before. I'm mixing years now. So I've got like 4 or 5 others, Yeah, they're boycotting, but it doesn't matter, because this is for information for YouTube, and whoever wants to go to YouTube will see. I will go back to other Muslim lives. They're not going to let me, they're not going to hide from me. I will go to them. They are in the chats. I mean, I had a guy come up, call me names already. We had one guy come up and he said some weird stuff. So there's another guy came up and said he knows my face and I need to be careful, blah, blah, blah. So again, the Muslims are here. They just don't like what we say. That's why I'm asking you guys, please follow my backup account. Please, this one, and also on the YouTube. If I lose TikTok totally and they, because I know someone that had the IP address on their phone and they're not allowed at all to be on TikTok. They had to use a different VPN because it was banned for their VPN and their phone. Weird enough. His name is Daniel. And he's in Canada and they took it away from him. Yeah, so, you know, but it doesn't matter. They can do and say what they want. The thing is that they're only good and strong behind the camera. They got nothing more than their big mouths behind the camera. And when it comes to topics like this, they can't defend it. Anyway, I'll go on just for a little bit longer. If there are Muslims, you know, you're more than welcome to request. I am now going through other Christian lives and Muslim lives to see their topics so that I can use their topics. I don't know what else is needed. I don't know because, you know, they actually talking about us on their lives. So they're obviously listening to us. That's the craziness. They're obviously listening to us, but you know. So let me just go on just a bit more. Just so far, the entire day today, what we've seen is that Islam and Allah, or Allah himself, he is the one that orchestrates and accepts and promotes the forcing yourself on women in Islam. So Islam promotes unlawful penetration. That's what the Quran teaches. That's why Islam means submission, and the principle of submission couldn't be any clearer, because by definition, a slave is most submissive of all people. So if you have right hand possess, these are your possessions. You are their slave owner, and they have to be submissive to you. And a slave will submit completely to his or her master. And Islam leads to jihad, and jihad leads to dingy without consent, and dingy leads to dingy slavery, and dingy slavery leads to submission, and submission means Islam. Do you guys see that? Islam, the submission, and this is the vicious cycle that we live in. It begins and ends with Islam. Watch this. Sahih Bukhari says this. He says, Abdullah bin Abi Auf, Allah's apostle, said, know that paradise lies under the shade of the swords. In Islam Q&A, and it's where you can ask the Imam, it says, it may superficially appear distasteful to copulate with a woman who is not a man's legal wife. Let me say that again. It may superficially appear distasteful to copulate, to bang, to dingy with a woman who is not a man's legal wife. But once Sharia makes something lawful, we have to accept it as lawful. This is from the Mufti, Ibrahim Desai, and he is unfortunately from South Africa. So what is he saying? He's saying it may be disgusting, it may be evil, distasteful, awful. He's saying it's awful, absolutely awful. You may think it's, you know, like the taste of vomit in your mouth. But if the Sharia makes something lawful, it is lawful. Don't question it. Now imagine Muslims believing that there must be some underlining wisdom. Now this is my question again. Amin likes it when we ask, what is the wisdom of Muhammad and Aisha? What is the wisdom behind Allah's authorization of dingy war captives? Because it's, according to Islam, lawful and good to do dingy without their permission, according to Islam. Remember, it says in Surah 869, but now enjoy what you took in war, lawful and good. In the Quran. lawful and good. Now, I want to just, again, we passing almost 2 hours in, and there's no Muslims that want to join, but it's okay. We're going to just go quickly to the Bible and see what the laws in the Bible say when it comes to your husband and wife. We'll start in Exodus. In Exodus 20:14, it says, you must not commit adultery. And that's a boom shakalaka checkmate right there. The start, this is telling you, do not commit adultery. Muslims, go to Samuel, go to Numbers, go to Deuteronomy. It's telling you, you shall not commit adultery. Simple as that. In Exodus 20:17, it says, you must not desire your neighbor's wife. What? What do you mean you can't desire? Allah said you can. Allah says you not only can desire her, you can take her and dingy her without her consent. In 1 Thessalonians 4, starting at 3 says, for this is the will of God, that you should be holy and abstain from sexual immorality. Each one of you should know how to control his body in holiness and honor, not in covetousness, sexual appetite, such as those nations which do not know God. Who does that remind you of? Which nations do not know God because they continue in their sexual appetites? Can you believe this? This is, it can't get any clearer than that. Again, in 1 Thessalonians, it says, for God has called us for the uncleanness, but for holiness. Does it sound like we're having the same God? Does it? Let's go to Matthew 5. Matthew 5 says this, you heard it was said, you must not commit adultery, but I say to you that everyone who keeps on looking at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Come on, man. And these are the laws of the Holy God. The Muslims are saying it's the same God. I mean, I heard Comedy Central say that Yahweh is Allah. If this is coming from Yahweh, then Allah contradicts it. You can't make this up. Remember, Malachi 3:6 says, for I am Yahweh, I do not change. Hang on. Allah changed if he was Yahweh. So this is why the Quran can never be the inspired word of the true God. So again, for a Christian, for us, there's no place for dingy, just willy-nilly, let alone for taking it unlawfully, outside of the limits of the marital union. Remember what the Bible said. In Matthew 5, it says, you heard that it was said, you must love your neighbor and hate your enemy. However, I say to you, continue to love your enemies and pray for those who are persecuting you. When it says love your enemies, it's not saying go and force yourself upon them and penetrate them. If we are commanded to love our enemies, you can't at the same time be dingy-dinging them, especially if they're married and have husbands. So again, my whole point is this. According to my understanding, when I'm going through this entire thing, it is Allah, and only Allah, the God of Islam, that sanctions the raping of women in the world today. Only Allah, the God of Islam, the Muhammad of Islam, and the savior of whoever these Muslims are following. This God of Islam is teaching people that he is the one that allows this to happen. He is the one that allows this to happen. He sanctions it. He high fives Muhammad for it, and he rewards them. He rewards them. He rewards them for it. The God of Islam. And if anyone thinks that I'm making things up, we can go through it again, because again, the blessing of illicit dingy dingy in the Quran comes from Allah. Allah makes it lawful for a man to penetrate another woman without her permission, because remember, silence is consent. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to also impregnate them, because you have to do coitus interruptus. You can't do that. You need to let it in. To sleep with these women, even though they are married. So Allah authorizes the graping of women from the Quran. Surah 33:50 and Surah 4:24 is the main proof, besides going to hadiths, showing you that Allah makes it lawful for these women to be taken advantage of. Now, the Muslims that are in the chat now, that are running to the Bible, what you are saying is that everything I said so far is true. You're not denying what I said is true or not true. You are denying, you are saying that you agree it's true, and you are trying to look for something similar in the previous scriptures. So even if it's in the previous scriptures, notice what you are then saying. You are saying you are okay with your God, the God of Islam, sanctioning the illicit, disgusting, filthy act of penetrating women without their consent. Is that what you Muslims are agreeing to? And don't forget, when you are lying on top of these women without their permission, you say, Bismillah, in the name of Allah, let me penetrate you. So if you want to go to any other book to try to make your book seem okay, I'll go there with you. In fact, I'll even accept what you say, because what you are saying is that it's okay in our book because it's also okay in other books. But you are not going against me when I'm showing you the verses. You are actually agreeing with me. See how that shut them up? See how that shut the Muslims up? I will say to you, whatever you say is true. If you found it in the Old Testament and you believe it's there, and you believe it's that the Christians are following that, I will say, you know what? Okay, great. Let's do that. Let's agree with that. But you are saying that you agree with it. You're not saying that you disagree with it. You are accepting it. Because the God of Islam, he is the one that is sanctioning, authorizing, and rewarding the Muslim man for dingy with women without their permission. Show us the verses. We went through the verses, my man. You guys don't forget the Agents 007, the Agents 007 on YouTube. Go to my link in my bio, link in the bio. You'll find the Agents 007 on YouTube. You can watch it. I went through the entire how Allah and Muhammad and the Quran promote all this filthy, disgusting behaviors, and how they are rewarded for their behaviors. The verses that we went to, the simple ones when we go through the Quran, is remember that Allah specifically inspired a Quran verse authorizing Muhammad, the divine decree to grape women, to take the captives of war and to penetrate them like a common pimp, like a pimp daddy. He's allowed to pimp these women out. Why? For the sexual gratification of Muhammad and his Sahaba. Surah 33:50 is a perfect example of the God of Islam bowing down, getting on his knees for the God of the Muslims, Muhammad, and saying, whatever you want, you can have, because we will make it lawful. And as I said before, even though we've got Ahmed begging for food, Allah's like, listen, Ahmed, man, you stop nagging, man. Muhammad needs dingy. We've got Abdul begging for water. Allah's like, what is wrong with you, man? Muhammad needs more women. He needs more dingy. We've got Kutam begging Allah. He's saying, please, I don't have a house. Allah's like, come on, man, what is wrong with you? Just shut your gob, leave me alone. Muhammad, he needs more women. You know, even his Sahaba need to dingy. All these Muslims are asking for something from Allah. Allah's like, I don't have time right now, because Muhammad, he needs more women. You know, his 9 wives are not enough. He needs sex slaves. His Sahaba needs sex slaves. They all need to be satisfied, or else they will not become Muslim. So again, as I'm saying to you, again, the Quran confirms. What did he say? O Prophet, we have made lawful unto thee thy wives, unto whom thou hast paid their dowries, and those whom thy right hand possesseth, of those whom Allah has given thee as spoils of war. So it is Allah that's pimping these women to Muhammad, and Muhammad thereafter is pimping these women to his Sahaba, and the Sahaba are pimping these women to any Tom, Dick, and Harry that becomes a Muslim. That's how Islam spreads. Not because it's a fantastic, great religion. It's because of the dingy and the woman just being impregnated. Because remember what Allah said, do not continue with coitus interruptus. You need to put the semen on the ship. And we can see that again all throughout the Quran, where it's confirming that you can do this. You can penetrate these women. It's okay. Remember what it says. This is the verse that I keep going to. The verse that says in Surah 23, right? 1-6 says, triumphant indeed are the believers who restrain their carnal desires. They restrain their carnal desires. They should have, Allah, if he was smart, he would have stopped there. But no, he doesn't stop there. Except, he goes with except, with their spouses and slave girls. Now remember, your slave girl, she's your slave, meaning that you own her. She's not going to fall in love with you and go, oh, this you, wow, you know, you beat me and you treat me bad, and you know, I'm not free to do anything, but I'll open my legs for you. So Allah is saying that these slaves that you have can also be married. And even though they have husbands, Allah's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. You know, and even the Sahaba were like, the Sahaba were better people than Muhammad and Allah. In fact, I should do a live saying the Sahaba are the better examples than Allah and Muhammad, because the Sahaba are going, hey, hang on a second, these people are married. We can't penetrate these girls. They are married. They have husbands. And Allah is going, hang on a second, dude. I can fix that too. It's because you own them. They are now yours, so you can penetrate them. So he's saying to them that this practice of carnal relations is lawful for them. Why in the world would I want to become a Muslim? Let me give you the same verse. This is now Yusuf Ali says, the believers must win through who abstain from sex, except with those joined to them in marriage, or the captives whom their right hand possesses. For in their case, they are free from blame. Do you know what that means, guys? Free from blame. If you force yourself on these women because you own them, you are literally graping them, you take them, you're doing this dingy with them, you are free from blame. Allah's like, you good. It's okay. You good. Another one, another translation says, successful indeed are the believers who abstain from sexual immodesty, except, see that? Except. Allah's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but let me just try to work on this again. Those with whom with those joined with them in marriage, or the captive woman whom their right hand possess, for then, verily, they are free from blame. Can you imagine a Muslim-dominated country entering another country in 2025 and then reading this Quran and understanding it from what it says, saying that when you take them, you can have dingy, right hand possess, and you can penetrate them even though their husbands are alive. So Allah promotes fornication, Allah promotes adultery, and Allah promotes graping women. This is only from the Quran and Hadiths. And when you read the tafsirs that try to make it true, it makes it even more disgusting. So again, I hope you guys that have just joined, that haven't watched this, it's on the YouTube, go back and watch this. Ask yourself, do you want to have Islam as a dominant religion in the world, knowing that the God of Islam is the one, the only one that is promoting the raping of women, the control of women, the impregnating of women? And then, because remember again, according to Islam, when you penetrate them, you have to say Bismillah, in the name of Allah. So you're raping these girls, these little girls as well. You are taking them by force. Why? In the name of Allah. And not only that, when you penetrate them, Bismillah. Rahman Rahim. Can you imagine that? 424, this is the next verse, tells you clearly, also forbidden are married women. He should have stopped there. But because he's not a smart God, he was so busy trying to fix the dingy of Muhammad, trying to make sure Muhammad was okay with his sex life, and he was ignoring all the other people. What does he say? Unless they are captives of war. So forbidden are married women unless they're captives of war. So even if they married and they have a husband alive or even dead, but mostly alive, doesn't matter. That's why the Sahaba were like, come on, man, these women got husbands. The husbands are alive. They're living. They're there. They're captives. You know, we got them as slaves now that they're alive. Muhammad's like, nah, it's all you good. Go do it. I'm sorry, man. I could never never, ever become a Muslim. Ever. It's like it's got to be like the taste of vomit in your mouth when you think about how these people have to lie and pretend and make excuses for this God that allows this Muhammad to do these things. The best example to mankind. Look what he says. Muhammad, as I read this before, but I'll read it again. In Sahih Muslim, Muhammad says, it goes on, Qudri reported that the Battle of Hunain, Allah's messenger sent an army to Otas and encountered the enemy, and fought with them, having overcome and taken them captives. The companions of Allah's messenger seemed to refrain from having intercourse with captive women because of their husbands being polytheists. Because of their husbands, they have husbands. Married women, husbands. But guess who comes to the rescue? Pimp Daddy himself. Allahu Akbar comes back and says, then Allah the Most High sent down regarding and women already married, except those whom your right hand possesses. I dare anybody to tell me that the God of Islam doesn't just come up whenever Muhammad needs him. This is why Aisha said, it's funny how your God, how your Lord always seems to come to your rescue. So I'm just paraphrasing. It's funny how your Lord, it's incredible. She's like, wow, man, your God, man, he comes to your rescue. But most of the time it's for the dingy. He saves Muhammad's dingy. Muhammad, you need it, I'll fix it. You be like, James needs medication or some help, man. I'm like, Allah, give me some help. Allah, I'm having a bad day. Allah, I feel like I'm, losing you. Allah. Allah's like, hey, can you just shut your gob? Muhammad needs more women. Can I please give him more women, James? Stop asking for things. I know you have no home. I know you just lost your job. Can you just shut your gob so that I can give Muhammad more women? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, man? Muhammad needs women because I pumped these women to him because I'm Pump Daddy Mac. Now again, in this hadith, it's telling you clearly that these women had husbands, but then Allah makes excuses for Muhammad. Another one in Sunan Abi Dawud, he says, talking about this military expedition, he said some of the companions of Allah's apostle were reluctant to have dingy with the female captives in the presence of their husbands. In the presence of their husbands. I sent you an invite there, brother. Allah Akbar. Sent you an invite there, man. No use coming up over here saying Allah Akbar. Say Pump Daddy.
I say Allahu Akbar, only God, only Islam.
I know only in Islam you can find the God of
But my
Islam
English
pimping women, right?
I don't know. I speak many language, but my English not so much good. But I know what you mean.
Okay, so
what do you want? What do you want? What do you want from Islam? Can you tell me?
I want Islam to disappear. I want Islam to be thrown away. I want the Quran to be burnt, and I want all Muslims to find
If
Jesus.
you know really Islam, now you make shahada. If you know really Islam, not like this Islam, the
Okay, do me a favor. Do me a favor, brother. Give me the shahada.
Really.
Give
You
me the
speak
shahada.
Arabic?
Watch this. Watch
You
this.
speak Arabic? You speak
You
Arabic?
don't need to speak Arabic.
Parsi, Kurdish, Turkish.
I don't need all that. Listen again. Listen to my question, please. You said if I read the Quran or understand Islam, I will become a Muslim, correct?
I say if you know original Islam, know this pupil, they say I'm Muslim, but he not Muslim. I don't know how I tell you because
Okay, so let me ask you, brother. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
If I follow Islam, if I want to be a Muslim, must I follow the Quran that teaches me that I can take women and rape them, take them and sleep with them without their permission? Is that
No, I ask you, I say what you want, why we speak about woman to Islam, who would save Islam, Christian or Muslim?
okay? Beautiful. Now I'm saying that according to the Quran, women in Islam, the women suffer the most in Islam. Like Aisha said, the most women that suffer are Muslim women. And now we can see from the Quran that your God in Islam, he says it's okay to sleep with another man's wife.
Which surah?
Surah 424.
424. Which surah name you remember?
An-Nisa.
An-Nisa 44. What they say, surah 44?
In 424, it says, also forbidden are married women unless they are captives of war. So if you take a woman and she's already married, you can also sleep with her.
No. Not correct. I don't know how you understand.
Okay,
you
you
not
tell
speak
me what it
Arabic.
says, brother. You tell
ألم
me
تر
what
إلى
does it say.
الذين أوتوا نصيبا من الكتاب يشترون ضلالا ويريدون أن يتصلوا السبيل. 44 Surah Nisa.
24.
24. 24. Oh, okay. I think we wait for 44. You believe God? You believe you don't believe anything?
I believe in God, my brother. I believe in the true God.
Okay. I will write this ayah. Sorry, let me see. والمحصنات من النساء إلا ما ملكت أيمانكم كتاب الله عليكم وأحل لكم وراء ذلكم واتبعوا أموالكم محصنين غير مسافحين أوكي والمحصنات من النساء مما ملكت أيمانكم وحرم عليكم what do you say for this ayah? How you understand? How I don't know how you think for this ayah. What problem with this ayah?
In 424. In 424. Who can
24.
you
24, yes? Yes, 24 Surah
424.
Nisa.
Nisa
24.
24. Nisa 24. 24.
Yes. If you want, I open camera. I show you. Yes.
It's
24,
okay.
yeah.
It's okay. Can you tell me if what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read Ibn Kathir for you. So I don't give you my explanation. I'll let you see what Ibn Kathir teaches, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Ibn Kathir says.
What do you say, Ibn Kathir?
He says the ayah means also forbidden are women already married except those whom your right hand possesses. So if you go to war and you take the woman in the war, after the war, you take her as your slave.
Which woman, my friend? Which woman?
The enemy's
You are
woman.
his wife or you are his... No. We had as a different. I don't know what you mean.
The
Because
captives.
we had two different. No. I said we had two different. If you are his wife or from war. Because
From
different.
war.
From war. Yes. This Chinese, like we say, Arabic. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Then it says that you can sleep with them. So if you go to war, let me ask you, if you go to war and you come to my town and you take my town, you win the war and I am alive, and you take my wife and you sleep with my wife, she's married to me.
No, my friend. No, you don't understand this. Not wife. Another from war. It's different. You must know this because two
Okay.
different.
Is
Okay. If you
my brother, if the woman is married, like Safiya, when Muhammad took Safiya, she was married to another man and Muhammad slept with Safiya. She was still married to another man and he penetrated her. He did dingy with her. According to Surah 424, it said, except those your right hand possesses, except those whom you acquire through war. And this is what he says. We captured some women from the area of the Autas who were already married, and we disliked having sex with them because they already had husbands. So we asked the Prophet about this matter, and the ayah was revealed, forbidden are women already married except those your right hand possesses. Accordingly, we had sexual relations with these women. So Ibn Kathir is saying these women were married. Muhammad, he went to the town, he unalived the people in the town, he took these women that were already married and he slept with them. I'm asking you, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
First of all, you must write ayah 25 after 24 because you write 24, write also 25 because this is something way 24. You understand what I mean?
I understand, but did I say anything that's wrong so far?
Yes, it's not problem. There's not problem with this ayah. You say this is I don't know why today you speak about only woman and you want to speak Islam.
Islam and woman, that's the topic today.
Okay.
Woman in
Okay.
Islam is like a chicken defending KFC.
Can you tell me I tell you if how like 100 people they listen. If you want no Islam, if you want really Islam, this picture I put, he named Ahmad Jibril, listen to him so you understand Islam. Don't listen another Imam, another Sheikh, because
brother,
so much they lie. Okay, but I want to tell you something. I don't change yours. You speak about Imam. But can you tell me something? What from Islam you don't like? Which? Don't speak about the man. Another thing. Which? But from as a you don't like as a.
Okay, I don't like how
Like
I don't like how women are treated in Islam. I don't like how.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what you say. Woman, what?
How women are treated in Islam. I don't agree that a little girl can be married and have a grown man like Muhammad, 53 or 54, is sleeping with a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old. I don't like that. The Quran says that you can sleep with a child. The Quran says you can beat your wife.
No. You no, correct. Not child, but you know, some woman. This Islam we don't have like 18 years. This Europa they say 18 years. 18 years is Islam not correct because some woman 12 years all day, 12 years, 13 years. Okay, they like big woman. She
Okay,
can.
my brother, let me ask you.
Yes.
If you meet a girl that had her period, she has her period, her mensa, at 9 years old, do you think she's old enough to sleep with? If you marry her, I'll say you can marry her. If you marry her and she's 9 years old and she has her period, her mensa, is she okay to sleep with?
I know you believe don't believe this prophet, not like me or you. Number one, because
that wasn't my question, my brother.
with Allah,
listen to
with
my
God.
question. Listen
But-
to my question.
Yeah.
Would you look at a 9-year-old girl and think that she is ready to be penetrated? That you can have sex with her? Dingy dingy.
No, they don't say it's no 6 years. 6 years might, but 6 years he not married as a 6 years. This is not correct. They
Are
say
you Sunni or
Well,
Shia?
I'm Sunni. I'm not Muslim.
Okay.
Yes, there really is because if I say something from
What does
Quran,
the
I go out from Islam. That's really
What
I'm-
does the hadith say? Was Aisha
What
6
does
years
it-
old when he married her?
Yeah,
Okay.
we had to say 9 years.
No. Not say 9 years. It says he married her when she was 6 and he put it inside her when she was 9, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's my question. Do you think that a 9-year-old today, or even back then, is a woman, a grown woman?
I tell you, all day, all 100 years ago, 200 years ago, people know like now. Now 7 years, 8 years, she cannot go to school.
What
You
I'm
know?
asking you, my brother. Okay, watch
no,
this.
no,
watch
no.
this.
But all the people know like now. I don't know how I tell you. All the people, some people also you can see like 10, 11 years. He had long skirt. You know.
I understand what you're saying. I understand it, but you're not listening to my question. My question is, Muhammad made it lawful to marry someone at 6 and to sleep with them at 9. You must agree, according to Islam, Surah 65:4 is for all times, correct? All times. So in the Quran, in Surah 65:4, it tells you you can marry them even before their first menstruation, their first mensa. You can penetrate them, you can sleep with them. In the Quran, Surah 65:4, it's telling you that you can do this today.
I tell you, woman, if she cannot, so not you say you must make this. No, we don't have in Islam this.
Can
Like
you
this.
can you read 65:4 for me, my brother?
Same surah Nisa.
No. 65 in the Surah 65. It is Surah Talaq. At-Talaq
Yes,
4.
64.
No, 65 Al-Talaq 4. What other languages do you speak, my brother?
I speak many language.
I know what
Kurdish,
language.
English, Farsi. What they say, surah yes, 64. Yes, I have. What they say. ولم الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم
First from the Imam.
يا أيها النبي, they say, oh prophet, why you يا أيها الذين آمنوا يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن واحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله من يعتدى. What problem with this ayah? Wallah, it's very good ayah for woman, my friend. Wallah,
I know.
you know what is
who-
idda? You know, I don't know what is idda.
Idda is the waiting period. That's to make sure
yes,
that's between the husband to make sure she's not pregnant, so
But
that
this-
you can see who
yes,
the father
yes.
is.
Yeah, but if you want, you better me understand this for English. So you tell them what problem they say hududullah. Yani if you yeah, it's
saying
good for
it's saying
woman.
for
This is
those
good for
who
woman.
have-
This is not bad for woman.
Wait,
Now
wait,
you are
let me show
people
you.
girlfriend
Brother,
or
wait.
wife. They
Wait, brother,
take out sleeping prostrate.
No,
They go
listen,
out.
listen.
Yes.
We're talking about three different types of females, correct? Okay, the first one is the old woman, those that no more menses, correct? And you're on 65 for talak, for 65 talak. Okay, so this is talking about the old woman, the young woman, and the pregnant woman, correct?
65.
65, not 64, 65, 65, 4.
No, as a 6-5, yes.
65 and then 4. 65, 65. I can show it to you on the screen. 1 second.
I have here. يا أيها النبي. It is same. فإذا بلغنا.
وَعَلِّ يَسِنَّا مِنَّا الْمَهِدِ مِنْ نِسَّكُمْ.
No, don't write like this. فإذا بلغنا.
No. Let me show it to you. 65. Hang on a second. Look at my screen.
No. Sorry. Yes. I know. It's coming complete because 65.
No, it's 65. It's on the screen now. You can see 65, 4.
I know. Surah Al-Talaq.
Talaq. That's right. The divorce.
I know. Yes. But the same ayah coming.
Can you read? Did you see on my screen? I'll show you again. Just look at my screen. 65.
Yeah, they say to all prophets.
No, it doesn't say that.
But I don't know this.
It says, as for your woman,
Yeah.
the waiting period. The idda, the waiting period. The idda, 65. Let me show it again.
Yeah, I tell you this. Yes. يا أيها النبي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Wait, let me.
It has nothing to do with Nabi.
يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقون لعدتهم وأحصلوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجون من بيوتهن ولا تخرجون إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعدى حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه. What problem with this? But tell me, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Does it say?
What problem
does it
for
say
this?
Wallahi ya inisa minal mahidi min nisaikum ibnir tabtum fa idakautun salahu. I don't speak Arabic, brother. But in the verse that you read, can you then tell me what does it say? And just which Quran are you reading? Are you reading Hafs Quran? I'm not sure if maybe you got the do you have the Hafs Quran, or are you from Morocco?
No, Hafs Quran. No Hafs Quran. I have a little, but no.
You wash.
But I write.
Read the next one. Read 65:5.
65.
Because I think you're on the wrong verse. Because it must start with Wallahi ya inisa.
But can you tell me what problem with this ayah? You tell me. Okay, I listen.
The verse that I'm reading says, as for your woman that passed the age of menstruation. As for your woman, in fact, let me show you on the screen so you can see it, right? In 1 second, and you can see what it says. Let me put this on. Okay, see there? It says, as for your woman, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. It says, as for your woman that have passed the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months. And those who have not menstruated yet, as well as those who are pregnant, their waiting period until they deliver their burdens ends with their period. So it's also 3 months. So over here, there's 3 women mentioned. The first mentioned are those who have despaired, those that are past the age, they are old women, right? The second one is, and those who have not menstruated. Can you read these words? Read this for me. What does this say?
لم يحضن لم يحضن وإلى
Yes.
لم يحضن.
So what does that mean? What does that mean? لا يمنع.
But you must write complete ayah.
Yeah, I know that. We are doing the whole ayah. But what does this mean?
Right.
What does this mean?
Yes, I tell you, if woman they can't, so she can marry, no problem.
What does
But
this
if
mean?
you,
What does it mean?
If you
What does this mean?
what is your لم يحضن they mean
She's never
like
had a
this
period
woman,
before,
like,
right?
yes, before not married. Yes.
Yes, beautiful.
Yes.
So this verse is saying
Young,
the
yes.
old woman, the girls that have not yet, she's never had a menstruation, she's never had a period, she's never had menses. And the last one is those that are pregnant, the pregnant ones. So these are the 3 women that they're talking about that you can divorce.
Yes, so
Okay.
if you have problems, of course you can divorce. Who say you
Beautiful.
can?
Beautiful. So now
Allah,
listen to me.
Allah,
So the 3 people, my brother, the 3 people that you can divorce, the 3 people is the old, the young that have not yet had menstruation, and the pregnant ones. These are the 3 people that you can't, that you can divorce. So according to this now, the 3 people that you can divorce, because lam means never, you've never had how you say, your menstruation. So the 3 people in the group is the old woman, the young child, and the pregnant one. Now my question, in the verse, Ibn Abbas says it's talking about those that are too young to have menstruation. Jalalain says those that are too young to have menstruation. Ibn Kathir says those that are too young to have menstruation. Now here's the question. This verse is talking about divorcing girls that have already been having relations with the man. They've already done, the man already did it with them. This is why there's a waiting period. Because if you didn't touch them, there's no iddah. So your Quran is saying, according to this verse, that the girls have already been married and had dingy. They had, the guy did them. He already was there. But the Quran is saying they must wait 3 months before they get remarried, even though they have not had menstruation. Do you agree with me or disagree with me?
So you have problem with this, like you right before iddah. I said, what problem with this?
My problem is Allah is saying that you can sleep with little girls even before they reach the age of menstruation. Not only can you sleep with them, you can marry them and divorce them, and they can get remarried after 3 months. So Allah is saying there's no age limit in Islam. You can sleep with them from whenever you want. And if they get divorced, they must just wait 3 more months until the next guy can sleep with them. Do you agree with Allah when he says that you can marry girls, divorce them, even though they are so young, they have not reached the years of menstruation?
So what problem?
Are you okay to sleep with a girl like 6 years old that has no menstruation?
No. You don't. I tell you. Don't go back to this. We talked about what in this. Now you say this idda. This very very good for woman. You know, you better on me. You know this idda good for woman. Like respect. You know, take out. If she stay 2 months, 3 months to your house or you divorce, you must pay for him. You must respect. You know, but I don't know what do you want to say
My
for
man, because again, listen to me now. Listen,
you
the
got
three
me
women,
Yeah.
women. I don't have a problem with the old. I don't have a problem with the pregnant. I have a problem with the girls that are too young, little children, little girls, little girls. The Quran is saying I can marry them and divorce them even before they have their first period, before their first mensa, because it says lam. They've never reached the years of penetration of menstruation. They're so young, they're so small, they have not yet reached the years of menstruation, of mensa. My question to you, I want to only talk about those girls. Are those girls in Islam, according to the verse in the Quran, Allah is saying it's okay to marry them, to sleep with them, and divorce them, even though they are very young? I'm asking you, do you have a problem with that?
But Allah don't say to this ayah like you understand this. You say to me, Ibn Kathir, they say this. They never say like this. You say to me, or I tell you, I had no problem if I married with woman down 18. No, normally, but it's 6 year, so as she cannot, you know. So I'm like I tell you,
She cannot what?
no, 100 years ago, people know like now. Some people also now know like some or some. I tell you, this prophet not like me or you. All people in Islam they can marry with four, no problem. Yes, if you
Can I
can,
show you?
if you can,
Can I show you
if
what
you
Ibn
can.
Kathir says? Let me
Yes,
show
what he
you what
says.
Ibn Kathir says. And can you read this for me? I'll do it like this. Can you read this for me?
Yes.
Ibn Kathir. Let me show you him a sec. Ibn Kathir,
Yeah.
Tafsir, Ibn Kathir. Can you read this for me?
يقول تعالى ما بين لعدة وهي التي قد انقطع عنها الحيض لكبرها إن 3 أشهر عوض عن 3 قروء في حق من تحرم كما دلت على ذلك. Yes, down. آية بقرة وكذلك أصغار الذين لم يكن سن حيضا إن كعدة 3 أشهر لعدة منهم. Okay, yeah, yes, I know.
Okay, that's enough. Can you tell me, what does he say? Because I have it in English. It says those whose menstruation has ceased due to old age, it is 3 months in lieu of the 3 months of menstrual cycles for the woman who menstruates, as indicated in the verse Surah Al-Baqarah. Similarly, for the young girls who have not yet reached puberty. This is the girl I'm talking about. The young girl that has not yet reached puberty. That's the girl I want to talk to you about. The girl that is so young, she has not yet had menses. Muhammad took Aisha before she had her menses. Muhammad married her before her menses. According to the Quran, Allah says it's okay to sleep with girls even though they have not yet had their first period, their menses. I'm asking you because now you saw Ibn Kathir is talking about young girls, little girls. Your Quran is saying you can marry them, sleep with them, and then divorce them, I'm asking you, are you okay with the Quran when it tells you that you can marry and divorce girls that are so young that they haven't yet reached the years of menstruation, my brother? Are you okay with that?
All thing coming from Quran, we accept. We when working with Quran, not like classic Muslim, you know. But this ayah, some you say, of course, we listen ulama mufassirin like Ibn Kathir, Tabari, but I ask you a question, but you're not answer. I say which thing you don't like from Islam. I pray for you. I not say bad thing to you. I pray for you. You see,
my brother, I'm telling you
Allah
why.
show you really, yeah.
But I'm telling you why. I'm telling you that your God is saying it's okay for me to be a pedo, to sleep with little children. Your God is saying it is not a problem. He is saying just wait 3 months. He says, just like you have the old woman, just like you have the pregnant woman, your God is saying that to me, it is not a problem for you. I have a problem when a grown man with a beard is sleeping with a little girl that has not yet reached the years of menstruation. But you don't have a problem with that. You are saying it's okay because it's in the Quran.
This comment they say children. No children. No, you say children. Somewhat small, but the
How
men
old? Can I ask you, my brother, which country are you from?
because young different with children. You know.
I understand, my brother. What country are you from? Morocco.
I'm Kurdish. No, I'm Kurdish.
Kurdish. Can you tell me, in your country, have you seen a girl that is 10 years old? Have you seen? Okay,
Yeah.
a 10-year-old girl. Does she look like someone that is ready to be married or slept with?
I tell you again, yes, if she can normally. This USA, they say 18 years. In Islam, we don't have 18 years. No, they write to me 18 years, down 18 years.
About
Baby,
18.
small. No.
My brother,
This you are, but down 18 years. Sorry, I'm sorry. I want to answer this question. Down 18 years. 2,000 times they make sex with she, so they don't know if the coming baby, they don't know who she's his father. We have many things. Because I'm working now, I cannot say so much.
I understand. Are you okay that a young girl can be married at 10 years old if she is able to take it?
I tell you, if she can, normal. But if she can, you can see people. She like she can like no, but no like small baby. No, I cannot.
Okay, but if she's able to do it, if she's able for it, then she's okay, right?
What do you say on school? Because you are.
If she is able to do it with the husband, then she's okay.
Yes, I see. Yes.
MashaAllah. Okay, my brother, have a lovely day. In our world, we
Thank you so much for your smoke. I pray for you. God show you really why. Because us Jewish, also Christian, coming all in this Quran. Allah says Surah Al Imran. After all religion come as in Islam, you can find all the ways, but not like Islam. They see pray Palestine. Also more night go the smoking hashish they drink. This not this people, not really Islam. They show, yes, we are good Muslim, but this not Muslim. One pray, 5 day I'm pray. If one pray, I'm not pray, I'm go out from Islam.
Are you married, my brother?
Many times I'm married, yes.
Many times. Do you have any children?
Inshallah.
Okay. So if I came to your house and I said to you that your 10-year-old daughter looks like she is able for it, would you give me your blessing?
If she can, why not?
Thanks for coming, man.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I go down. Thank you for my.
Well, that was worth waiting for. that was worth waiting for. That's you know, that, I mean, he was an honest soul. I mean, you know, I got, you know, he was honest. And that's Islam. I think that was like the perfect ending for me to show you guys the woman in Islam at 10 years old. What did he say? If she is able for it. And where does he get that from, guys? He get that from Islam Q&A, where it says that there is no age restriction. If the girl is able for it, then she can do it. Dawn, you got to edit that, man. Imagine that. I just want you guys to know that, again, all we do is read. And even though he was probably he's only Muslim I've had up today that was engaging in the conversation, God bless him. God bless him for his honesty, because he is not hiding the fact. Now we can look at him, just, you know, what he says and vomit in our mouths and not sure if you should spit it out or just swallow it. But this is the truth about Islam. He said to me that if he had a 10-year-old daughter and if she was able for it, then I would be allowed to do it with her. He said, why not? Again, this is the Islam we're talking about. And it was worth the wait. After 2 hours and 45 minutes, I had my first Muslim on, and he agreed to that. That's right. Amin would have lost it, and Amin would have been like screaming and shouting. And that's why sometimes it's good to allow them to speak. And I pray for this guy. I pray for him. I hope you guys, and I say this often, clip it. Clip these videos. Clip all these little things that you guys can clip and put them out there. Share them with people. Show them that this guy, an Arabic-speaking Muslim, asked me, well, what is the problem with the verse? Because he saw no problem with 65:4 saying that you can penetrate these girls before they even have their first menstruation. Lam, not yet. They have never reached it. He agreed. He read it and he said to me, well, what's the problem? He saw no problem in the verse, guys. By not seeing it any problem, he's consenting to it. He's going, yeah, but it's cool. It's not a problem. And that's why he said that a 10-year-old, as long as she is able for it. In fact, let me read for you guys. Islam Q&A, and I want you to see what Islam Q&A says. It's Islam Q&A, questions and answers, 22442, says this, and I'll just read this for you. And if I hope the phone showing the screen is just shaking, so let me just read this again. And it says this. It says, the fact that it is permissible to marry a young girl does not mean that it is permissible to have dingi with her. Rather, that should not be done until she is able for it. Just like he said, she has to be able for it. For that reason, Muhammad delayed the consummation of his marriage to Aisha. Why? She wasn't able for it. So she wasn't able for it yet. Muhammad waited. And then he had to try and then try again. So it says, for that reason, Al-Nawawi said, with regards to the wedding party of a young married girl at the time of consummating the marriage, if the husband and the guardian of the girl agree upon something that will not cause harm to the young girl, then that may be done. If they disagree, then Ahmed and Abu Ubay say that once the girl reaches the age of 9, then the marriage may be consummated even without her consent. But that does not apply in the case of who is younger than 9. Malik and Al-Shafi and Hanifa said the marriage may be consummated when the girl is able for interdingi, which varies from one girl to another, so no age limit can be set. Now here is the kicker. It said this is the correct view. There is nothing in the hadith of Aisha to set an age limit or to forbid that in the case of a girl who is able for it before the age of 9. So even before the age of 9, the girl is able for it. If she's able for it before the age of 9, meaning 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if it can go in, go for it. That's what they're teaching us. That's what they're telling us. This is Islam. So he was a true Muslim. He said nothing that was outside of Islam. Nothing. Now, this is the craziness. These are Sunni Muslims walking our streets, and remember, if they take over your city, your town, your little country, that's what they're going to do. Requesting only Muslims, please. It says Muslims request. Muslims request. I'm about to end anyway, so if there's a Muslim that wants to come up, you're more than welcome to. I just want to prove my point again. My point being that even though we are reading this stuff, the one that is saying it's okay, the one that is giving its blessings, the one that's giving its blessings to the graping, to the forcing themselves on others, is Allah. Notice he had no problem with anything. 424, 434, 65:4. It was all okay. But that, guys, is Islam. Islam is saying that the God of Islam, he is the one that blesses the adultery, the fornication, and the forcing yourself on women. Allah, the God of Islam, blesses it. He just labels it like captives of war, right hand possessed, sex slaves. But he sanctions it. It's sanctioned in the Quran and the Hadiths by the God of Islam, and this is why they are able to do it today. So, according to him, if I visited his little town and his 10-year-old was available and able, he would go, mashallah. And he had no problem. Did you see anyone ever, did you notice in his voice he had a problem with it? No problem. He was like, yeah, no, of course, if she's old enough and she can do it, of course you can. So again, all of this is on the YouTube channel, The Agents 007, The Agents 007. I pray that you guys are, please go and subscribe to that channel. We have to make these things go viral. We have to let more people watch these videos, because again, all I'm doing is just reading. I'm just reading from the Quran, and the Quran is giving us these things. And all we're doing is just repeating what they were giving us. And then a Muslim like him that's honest, and I was going to say decent, he's an honest Muslim believing that he is following the laws of Allah. So, you know, you can't blame him, yet you can, but you can't blame him for accepting it. You can't blame him for accepting it as truth, because he's saying that this is what Allah has given us. So even though we've had just this one Muslim, he confirmed everything I spoke about today. Everything confirmed. And again, he's basing everything on what we just said. We just said it from the Quran that Allah is okay with this. Her silence is her consent. Don't forget that. Allah said, the guy comes, he says, listen, man, if the girl is shy, if the virgin is shy and she doesn't consent, then what? What does Muhammad say? He said, her silence is her consent. Imagine going to court in the country you live in, and you go to court and you go, listen, man, I did this with this girl. And the judge says, well, did she say no? Well, I covered her mouth. She couldn't really speak, but her silence is consent. And the judge is like, oh, mashallah, that's true. There we go. You can go home. Can't make this up, people. Can't make this up. Let's do this now. Since there's no more Muslims that want to join, let's go back. And hopefully the Muslims are going to manifest as soon as you start reading from the Bible. They start panicking. Today, I know that we're definitely on Psalm 24. Psalm 24, just ask you, Lord, to please bless, help, and guide not only me, but all these brothers and sisters as well. Keep them away from the filth of Islam. Please, Lord, keep them away from the filth of Islam, the filth of Allah, and the filth of Muhammad. Please, and cleanse us. Help us to get rid of all these thoughts that we have that are, negative about, or these thoughts that are eating us inside because of what we just read. In Jesus' name, amen. I promise you guys, it eats me inside. I have a little more, I can handle more than Amin can because he gets crazy with these topics. But my whole point again is that if I am going to read this and try to understand this, I've got to swallow some of it, got to take it in. And it's like taking in poison, because this is poisonous. This God of Islam is poison. Islam is poison. The Quran is poison. That's why to end the day, we just got to go back to the Bible. Go back to the Psalms. And I'm just glad that we started reading the Psalms. And for most of us, including myself in this is the only time of the day that we can actually pick up our Bibles or read the Bible. Because a lot of the time we don't, and we're busy and we this and we that. So Muslims, I'm reading from the Zabur. The topic is still there, women in Islam. My claim is that your Quran, your God of Islam, sanctions the raping, the unaliving, and the of women. It's sanctioned by God. The God of Islam is saying that he allows fornication, adultery, and forcing yourself on women. While we do that today, we're on Psalm 24. I need some water. You guys are not reminding me to keep hydrated. So Melchizedek, you says no, Islam is. Why wouldn't you come up? Why wouldn't you come up? I mean, we can see if the God of Islam is the one sanctioning this. Because again, as I said, if you said, no, that's the Christian God, dude, remember that your Quran claims that the God of Islam wrote the Torah and the Injil. See that? You can't be stupid. I guess your parents are first cousins. So let's read. Psalm 24, it says, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. Who shall ascend the hill of the Lord, and who shall stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not lift up his soul to what is false, and does not swear deceitfully. He will receive blessings from the Lord, and righteousness from God of his salvation. Such is the generation of those who seek him, who seek the face of God of Jacob. Lift up your hands, O gates, and be lifted up, O ancient doors, and the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O gates, and lift them up, O ancient doors, and the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. So Melchizedek is saying, read Psalm 137, and he goes to 9, showing you that he thinks this is Islam, where we can pick and choose and not read it in its context. But again, Melchizedek, I think that you need to understand, even though you are saying what you're saying, just remember that the blessing of illicit dingy comes from your God, the God of Islam, that promotes fornication, adultery, and the raping of women and men and dogs and donkeys. Because again, in Islam, there is no punishment for penetrating an animal. That's your God. He is the one that authorizes this. He is the one that allows this. Don't forget. Surah 33:50 tells us clearly, we have made lawful unto thee wives, unto thee thy wives, unto those who had passed their dowries, and whom your right hand possesses. That's right. Pimp Allah, Pimp Daddy Allah, allows Pimp Muhammad to pimp out girls to the Sahaba. And remember, Muhammad, he was like, man, I see a girl over there, give her to me. Now this girl has just been used, abused like a condom, you know, and now Muhammad's like, oh, me next, please, me next, give it to me, me, please, give it to me. That's how filthy and disgusting this man was. So Melchizedek, do me a favor, dude. Go and pray to Allah. Say, thank you, Allah, for Surah 33:50. Say, thank you, Allah, for all the filth that you have given us in your Quran. Say, thank you, Allah, for all of this. Because again, Pimp Daddy is Allah and Mo. Allah Diddy and Mo Diddy. Ozzy cracked me up. Guys, and again, I pray that even though it's just me, myself, and I with you guys today, and just this one Muslim, I hope it was still educational. I hope that you guys can, we've learned something today. If you guys do clip and you do make clips, please clip as much as you want, as often as you want, share them, and, you know, tag me in them as well. Make these little clips. Let's build the channel. Let's build, let's show more Muslims what the Quran actually says. Dawn says, go to his YouTube channel or I lose my job. That's right, because we have this YouTube channel that's really doing well with the people coming in and watching these videos. And as I said, guys, we are planting seeds. And the seeds that we are planting, you know, these roots are going deep. You guys had yesterday or the day before, AR that came on the live with Little Deer. He's going to take his, he's going to be baptized soon. And as I said before, this guy he said he would he would die for Muhammad. I mean, he said Muhammad can do nothing wrong. He didn't care about what Muhammad did. He defended him tooth and nail every day. He was a thorn in my side. I never muted him. I never blocked him. Maybe that's, you know, not just me, all the others. And then he started joining lives, and Little Deer, God bless that sis, took him under her wing, guided him, helped him. And today he comes up and he's like, well, yesterday or the day before, he's, you know, going to be baptized soon. Man, this is, you know, our Lord works in mysterious ways. Our Lord works in mysterious ways. So again, just so you guys know, we've gone through the Ahi Hos HS says that. He says, what is this guy yapping about? I've just gone through the Quran proving that the God of Islam is the one that sanctions, authorizes, allows, forces people to be raped. He forces adultery, allows adultery and fornication. The God of Islam does. So if you want to watch it, the YouTube channel is The Agents 007, and you're more than welcome to come up another day and make it make sense. Just before I leave, it's typical. Let me see. iMedia. I've accepted your request, iMedia. Nope. Going. iMedia. Where you at? It's probably gone. Might have been a mistake. But again, I like that. Qurani fornication. Not Californication. Qurani Californication. I like that. Anyway, man, I just pray that you guys pray for me, and I pray for you, and I ask you just to remember to please humble yourselves. Please let us all just humble ourselves. Let's remove the hate, the pride, the ego. I haven't said that for a while. Humble yourselves. Remove the hate, the pride, the ego. Put Christ first. Put the Bible first. Open your Bibles. Read your Bibles. Do some type of Bible study, whether it's to yourself, to your children. Remind your mums, your dads, your brothers and sisters, just go back to it. I was actually, when I was visiting my mums, we were talking Bible, and she I don't think she understands how, she doesn't know really what I do. She kind of knows. And it's crazy because she was in shock when we started talking and I was saying things, and I don't live with my mom's and I see it probably once a year, if I can. So I'm not, privileged like a lot of you guys because I don't live near her. But again, it's in the bio. My YouTube is in the bio, but I'll write it down. It is, let me just make a comment there. It's in the bio, but it says at the Agents 007. So it's at the Agents 007 on YouTube, the Agents 007 on YouTube. Please, guys, the link is in the bio. Also, if you guys want to buy me a coffee, it's just a donation. Thank you. I appreciate whatever we know, because again, as I said, I need to get me a few down. I need to subscribe to a few channels that cost, and a few things that because we do Amin and I do share certain things, but sometimes he's logged in and I can't log in, or he needs to verify that it's him logging in. It's back and forth, so things like that cost, and it's just unfortunate everything costs today. Wish it was cheaper, but it's not. So again, you're just contributing. It's not going to buy me a new house or car, but if you want to buy me a new house or car, somewhere in the sun, house. But anyway, I pray for you guys. God bless you. Thank you. Just support other brothers and sisters as well. James, I think I could fix that for you. But a house and a car? Dude. Oh, man. But anyways, as always, tomorrow I will go live again. Tomorrow. And we will hopefully, maybe I will change the topic, or come at it from a different view, because today we talked about Allah sanctioning this. We haven't really spoken about hadiths talking about women and how women are treated. So, all we do is read. So, and I say thank you for your support. Always thank you. Go back, share these lives, and let's bring people to Christ. Okay, Dawn, I'm just joking, brother. God bless. Anyways, have a fantastic day, guys. God bless. Take care.